I saw recently about a man on meth who fought off 15 coppers while masturbating. This was a news story that I read about the other day.
Fair play to him. I like this guy already. Although, if he's masturbating, no coppers coming near you while you're like, come on then.
I'm trying to figure that out. Like, that means he fought off 15 coppers one-handed.
Well, yeah.
How much meth did this man take?
Where was this at?
I think it was America.
That's some good meth.
America, they have the best meth. All comes from Hawaii. Dr. Bounty Hunter. People don't realise he's actually the biggest meth dealer in the world.
Dr. Bounty Hunter?
Yep.
Hello, Internet. You're listening to the In Your House comedy podcast with the Babyface and his fellow funny friend. Now hold on to your butts. Keep your arms and legs inside the podcast at all times. Prepare to have an autographical orgasm in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome everybody to another episode of the In Your House Comedian Podcast, the show where I sit down with one of my fellow funny friends from around the comedy circuit. I am your comedic babyface and all around dickhead, KD Hinken, and I am joined by, do you want to introduce yourself?
James Brogan, as I live and breathe.
As you live and breathe?
Yeah, is that the same?
As long as you're breathing, I'm happy.
Yeah, James Brogan, back to the comedy scene.
Fuck the comedy scene. The comedy scene can wait. We'll talk about that in a minute. Because very good newbie comedian. We'll get to that. I want to learn about the van scene first.
Yeah, go for it.
I love your fucking van life. As we were saying before, I love it, man.
I do live in a T4 camper van, and I've lived in there for just gone a year now, actually. And it's the best thing I ever did. I've lived in places all over the world, from council estates, jails, chalets.
Council estates.
Yeah, chalets in the fucking Alps, villas in the Greek islands, and quite happily in this camper van. It's better than going home alone, as far as I'm concerned. I get to go out and do gigs all over the place and stay around and stick around with the audience and that as well.
That's the best part, I imagine, going and doing gigs and all that, and then not having to worry about driving home.
It is a massive thing, because you know when you go do a gig and you have a few beers and that as well, and you have to try and stop yourself. But I don't drink that much, but if I have 2 or 3 beers, I'm normally hammered anyway, so fucking it's nice. I don't drink that often. So it's nice just to go and get back in the van. I was doing a gig in Hull 2 weeks ago at the House of Bevs. Have you heard of that?
The what?
House of Bevs comedy club up there. Really good.
I'm also dumb, so I forget most of the names.
Well, I didn't realise how far fucking Hull is, but I did the gig, and then luckily there were some people in the audience who were like, "We're on the golf course down the road. Do you want to come and stay at ours for the night and talk about putting a gig on and stuff like that down there?" I was like, "Yes," and that's what it's perfect for, because a lot of comedians have to hit the road straight after they've done the gig.
Yeah.
Whereas I get to like soak up the audience and see what's going around in the local area.
And that's when the good stuff can really come as well, from doing gigs and stuff. The best thing has come, the networking with the comedians and with the people around from the bit after.
Definitely, yeah, because it's just, you miss out on so much, especially if you do your set and then go before the gig's finished, which a lot of people do after.
Sometimes you have to.
Or something,
When you have to, fair enough, but if you don't have to, you should always stick around for everyone else.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If for no other reason at all, because sometimes we just need the people for the audience. Let's be honest.
I did a nice little gig at Horby the other night, but the two acts before me, they both had to get off because they were in the middle of nowhere, and you know, when it's like this, to drive back alone is fucking horrible, man. So it is what it is, but it's a massive bonus for me, and like I say, you know, for the past year I've been in it now, and it's freezing cold at the moment.
That's one issue, I imagine.
There's no back window, you see. There's I put the
I saw the decking things you got on there,
Yeah, I had to put that in. It's only slatted wood, but fucking I parked it on a...
Wait, there's no window behind
that?
No,
there's no glass, no.
Oh, I saw like the peek through, so literally that's
just straight through. That's an arrow, all the way around.
There, like... Just put any material.
I know, but I'm so lazy. I've just been like hot water bottling it for the past 2 weeks, and I'm not joking. I've woke up in the night and everything else is frozen.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me.
It is fucking.
Don't get me wrong. I'm grown up in council houses, so it annoys me when I see people being like, "Oh, it's cold. We're gonna put the heating on." put a layer on.
Yeah, that's it, definitely.
What are you talking about?
And the thing is, once you get set up in there, there's a way of doing it. If you don't go right to your bottom layer and just start at the top and go layer as you get colder and colder.
Yeah.
If you go straight in at the deep end, you've got no adjustment afterwards.
Yeah, very true. And you might get too warm and then get a bit sweaty, and that will make you colder.
But yeah, I absolutely love it. It's the best thing I ever did. Basically, it did cost me a marriage, don't get me wrong.
Wait, was that the amount of money for it? Or were you talking literally it cost you a marriage?
I brought it from my divorce money.
Oh.
Yeah, the money I got from my divorce. I was
right,
I'm getting a camper, I'm going to be a comedian, this is it. As soon as my divorce money came through, got the camper. I was at Edinburgh Fringe Festival 2 days after for the last couple of days with my notepad just chasing the dream. I'm like, this is it.
Yeah.
And then
That's great, man.
got back a couple of days later, then COVID fucking locked it down for 2 years, and it's just been up and down, but now it's back on.
Well, the main thing is you kept it going, you kept that idea going, that's the main thing.
Well, listen, the thing is, when I first bought the camper, I was like, because I've got a little boy as well, and I didn't really want a house, but I got one just so he could stay. Well, you've got to do your best, don't you? And,
do you? I've been doing my second best so
well,
far.
whatever. You could probably use your second best because your first best would be too good, I suppose.
Yeah, we'll go with that. That's what it is. That's definitely what it is.
Have you got a drink or something? Sorry.
What?
A drink?
They're there for you,
there. Are they for me?
They're
wow.
and there's cookies there as well.
Well, I don't know if we're having cookies.
You don't have to. There's some German cookies, and I thought, you know what? It's Christmas. I'm going to give people a taste of my homeland.
Good. Of course you are. Yes. Well.
Carl with a K, Hinken. No, I'm not German at all.
Yeah, well.
No, don't know why you'd think that.
Well, my surname's Hughes and I'm not Welsh. Definitely not Welsh.
I say it, and I'm not actually German at all. Like, I am English. I was born in England and all that. It's like my that wasn't even my last name originally. My original last name was Bates, which I still think I know how to use on stage too, because my original last name was Bates. So all the way growing up, I was Bates.
When did you change it to?
When I had kids, when I had my youngest, because I don't see my dad or anything. So I was like, that's my dad's.
Is that your dad's? Right.
So I took my maiden name Hinken.
Yeah.
But the thing is, my kids would have loved it because up until I was 16, it comes through. Yeah, I talk to the camera like it's a person.
No, yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Up until I was 16, before you get Mr. on your letters, what do you get?
Sir?
Master
Hinken.
No, but my name was Bates.
Oh, Master. Oh, right. Brilliant. Yes, of course. That's cool.
That's my nickname all through school.
Master Bates. That's the best of that.
The worst one is I pointed it out all the time.
Well, why not? It's fucking
Master Bates by name, Master Bates by hand.
Definitely, man.
Or by nature, depending on how I feel.
And that's the element of the comedy, and isn't it, basically? Fucking, it's good that we can put ourselves down.
We take the piss out of
That's
ourselves.
this as well.
Other people can't.
Exactly. Beat them to the fucking chase, innit?
That's how I start a roast battle. Like, I'd start it off by insulting myself first.
Got to. If you can insult yourself, you can insult anybody.
That's not true.
I find you can, because I never say anything with any malice, but I do offend a lot of people, but it's never with any malice, because they think whatever I'm saying is true, but because you fucking, in my head, I'm always a comedian. I'm always writing, I'm always trying new stuff with people, and like, fucking, so I think if I can openly take the piss out of myself, that pretty much lays the gauntlet down for them to take the piss out of me too, and be pretty open, but each to their own. There's some miserable cunts out there, and what can you do?
I've learned it's
drop us a splash of that in there, mate. So we're partying.
Oh yeah, you can have some. You're more than fucking. Oh, do you want it in there?
I don't. Just chuck it in there. Yeah, just on the cockles. Yeah. What is it? Whiskey? That'll do that.
Nah, fucking whiskey, rum.
Rum. Exactly.
Oh, whiskey.
Rum Warrior. Sweet. That'd be a new drink. That'd be fucking.
Good man, I like the vibe. I can figure it out straight away in that case. Where's my spliff gone? That was yours.
I have some of mine if you want this one.
No, that's my one. Is that right?
Yeah.
Did you see what I did then? I dropped it.
And
I caught it in that one.
Did it touch your leg, or did you catch it?
It might have touched my leg.
Oh, well, if you hadn't touched your leg, that would have been better. But
if I'd have been naked and that was lit, then it probably would have burnt my nip.
Yeah?
My nip?
Where's this Jenga anyway? I thought we were games of Jenga going down. Have you not got Jenga here now?
I'm sorry, where do you think you are?
You wrote on the podcast thing, jokes, Jenga, and something else, or come along for some games and Jenga and stuff. I mean, the thing is, I love Jenga. I'm obsessed with Jenga. In the van, I play it all the time. I am obsessed with Jenga. And it's going to be one of the things on my podcast, you see. So like, I kept play it all the time.
No, that was not this.
no, fair dues.
That was. I know you're on about. That was the Actress and Bishop, the pub.
Ah, right.
Which is a great thing to do in the pub, but then the time I went after, they stopped doing it. I was like, why? They had all Jenga out at different like tables and that.
They had it on different tables?
Yeah, they had chess out, and I love chess as well.
Yeah, I've never played chess. Fucking, I'm not that... Well, the thing is...
You've never played chess?
No. I've always smoked weed, and to play chess, you've got to remember the moves. I can't remember what everything does. I can just about remember what a pawn does.
I started playing chess before I started smoking, but...
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah. But I would like to play, but... Jenga, I do like it, but fucking hell, I've had some embarrassing times on it. You should try playing Jenga when you're off your head on a date and your hands are shaking like this because you don't want to know that you're wasted and you're like...
Oh, I've had that before. Yeah, man.
Fucking, this was the wrong choice of game.
Oh, I love those stories though, when you're trying your hardest to not show that you're wasted, like on a date or something.
Yeah.
Fucking loved it. I remember the one like at my party when I was younger, like probably like, I don't know, like 19th birthday, something like that, 18th. And we was all doing a drinking game in the building. You know when you got the girl that you're trying to have completely respectable relations with. Mm-hmm. You know those ones. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those ones. Yeah. You know, yeah. So when you're trying to bank.
Yeah.
And then you're having a drinking game, and then you suddenly throw up all over yourself. And then you know they're right behind you, and like, did they see? And then you do the most ninja-ific clean-up job ever. And then 10 minutes later, you're upstairs having this one.
I've never experienced that, to be fair, but...
Well, it's the same thing, that's what I'm saying, the idea of trying to hide
how
wasted you are.
Yes, I get you. Sorry, I forgot about that. It's my short-term memory loss.
That will happen a lot, don't worry, in this podcast.
I completely lost track of that part.
That will happen a lot, sir.
Yeah, but I get you now, yeah, I'm with you.
I remember another time I was in one of the trendy places in like Selly Oak, and I'd gone there earlier than I would drink, and I wasn't old or anything, but I was actually the person I was going to meet was older than me. What the fuck am I on about? And they were doing these weird drinking games that college people do, apparently uni people, where if you throw a penny in someone's pint, you have to neck it. You have to neck their pint? No, if someone throws a penny in your pint, you have to neck it. Oh, right. Someone threw a penny in my pint, and I necked it. And I was fucking violently sick everywhere. But I got myself into the toilet before I was. At least you didn't fucking neck the penny as well. That could be a bit of a thing, couldn't it? That. Go on, go. Fucking hell. Imagine trying to... that coming out afterwards. Oh. And then it turned flat, that was trying to come out. On the way out, oh dear. I don't want to pull that penny out. Thing is, when I go on dates, especially the ones over like don't meet smokers, and I don't class myself as a smoker because I only smoke weed, and then I always turn up just stinking of weed straight away, and they're always like, I can smell it, but I like it. And I'm like, well, see, everyone kind of likes everyone likes the smell of bud, definitely, really. It's fucking bullshit. They're like people who don't like the smell of bud and then will sit there and gladly drink a wine or something and breathe alcohol all over your face. I think it's fucking absolute bullshit. Or they go out and want to drink loads of drink or smoking fags, and then they pull up on you fucking for smoking a joint. I'm like, we're not going to be together, I don't think. Oh yeah. That's so, yeah. You don't. I just thought of something else then, but I want to go back to that actually first. Yeah, like the idea of you can be if you're a stoner, you can be with somebody that doesn't smoke all the time, but not somebody, somebody that doesn't smoke all the time, but is open to it, is fine with it. That's okay. Well, my ex-wife, that fucking thing. You were married? Yeah, I was. Yeah. And okay. In that case, the person who let him go. Bad person. Very bad person. She's fucked up big time there. But get this, the first time I ever ended up back in her bed, I woke up in the morning. It was the first night I met her. Back in her bed? Well, it was the first night I met it, and I pulled the one night on the first night. So I woke up and I was like, you know what? This is perfect. The only thing that would make it any better now is a joint. And she's like, she whips a tray out, skinny up tray. I was like, wow. At the time, I had a brilliant job. I was living in Corfu and the Alps, and I was just in between seasons. So I was just back for that little bit. And I was like... Oh, so you've always been a transient then?
Yeah, well, since coming out of jail, yeah.
I can say, is that the correct way to put it? A transient?
Well, I don't know about transient because they're normally more of a homeless roadman kind of thing. Whereas when I was living abroad, I was out there for a proper job and stuff like that. You see, so I've always been a traveller.
Traveller, that's a better way to put it. But then again, it has gypsy vibes to it.
Yeah, well, I'm a gypsy. I am a gypsy.
Oh, okay. So it's okay to say that.
Yeah, I fucking.
Cool.
I don't pay taxes. I park where I want. You know
what, man? There's a few places I used to do comedy nights with, where we'd go and people would be like, "Oh, there's travellers there and that, like gypsies."
Yeah.
And all my experiences and every gig that I've done in those areas since has confirmed it. They are very fun people when you actually just go and have fun with them and don't. It's fun. No,
they're always
it's a good fun night,
the issue is towards the end of the night when they're all fucking hammered, because that's when it starts to kick off. You know, the celebrity
being that
gypsy.
super relaxed person, be like, "What you doing? Why are you getting angry?" I enjoy that more.
The celebrity gypsy, like Paddy the fighter, who was in Big Brother House, and he's Paddy.
Oh, Paddy Pimblett?
No, he's not a gypsy. He's just a scouser.
It confused me when you said been in the Big Brother House. I thought you were talking about Tyson Fury until then.
No.
He's like the king gypsy fighter.
But this Paddy was a bare knuckle gypsy fighter, and he became famous through something, and then they put him in the Big Brother House. Paddy Doherty, his name is.
No,
he was like the head of a gypsy clan, right? And he's famous for it. I was at a club in Blackpool a few months back, and I've gone out, and it was when it was COVID, so there was a one-way system for everything.
When it was
everyone
all
had to be
slowly.
sat down. I've gone out of the back door for a fag, and as I've walked out, there's this gypsy going to fucking having it with the bouncers, and he's like, "I'll fucking do you, I'll do you." And I've gone to have a fag, and then as I've stood in the queue, he's turned around and looked at me, and he's like, "Oh, I can see it in your eyes, you." Oh, and I was like, "What the fuck can I see in my eyes?" And then he's like, "Oh, those eyes." And I was like, "What the fuck's going on? Is he trying to fight me or fuck me?" And I said, and then he walked away. And I said to the bouncer, I was like, "He's off his head." He's like, "That's that Paddy off the TV. He comes here every week and has a crack with the fucking bouncers, and he's just like, he gets on it." And I was like, "Fuck!" I was either going to get fucked. He's not chilled with the bouncers, but like he is when it starts the night.
But he doesn't kill them at least. I'm saying.
Yeah,
he doesn't kill them at least.
Yeah.
For him, putting sound, that's probably pretty sound.
But like, it was just mad. I was speaking to him, and then I could. You know, if I'd have been a dick, I could have been like, "Oh," in his face, and it could have been a different story. But and I was like, I've just been verbally assaulted by Paddy Doherty. Yes, that's I'm dropping that one in a podcast someday. Yeah, definitely.
It's true.
But no, quite often I did a headlined at Van Life Festival this year.
I saw you talking about Van Life one. Yeah,
it was a weird festival, but the thing is, my opening thing was, look, like, we've all spent years complaining about gypsies. Now everyone here is a gypsy, more or less. We all live in vans, you know. We want our own peace and quiet. We think the government's fucking us over. That's all the gypsies have ever done, really. Other than
we're catching up now.
Yeah, well, it's going back in time, really, and there's that many people who do this van life thing. Well, poverty makes shit like that happen, doesn't it?
There's a lot of stuff. Well, yeah, as you were saying, there's a lot of stuff that needs to go back in time, and then the stuff that's forced to go back in time. And there's stuff that shouldn't as well, but then does have to go back in time.
Yeah.
But most of the stuff doesn't. Yeah, I know.
Which way is you going to do it? But this is another thing I love about van life, because none of it affects me. None. I live with nothing. I live basic. I don't have electric. I don't have gas.
So a few questions about that actually. So I'm assuming you don't have to pay like any of the council tax and all that. You're not on universal credit because you do some kind of trade thing, don't you?
Well, no, I am actually on. Well, I was on universal credit, but when I first got into living in the van, I had some of my mum's inheritance money. So we had to sell their house, and then I went straight into the van. Yeah. So for quite a while, I had quite a bit of spending money. But it was still the back end of COVID. So the only things that were open were fucking dealers and brass houses, and that. It just fluttered away. But I did get on this college course.
I've said this many times on stage that the only way I survived the pandemic was through getting high.
Yeah, well, definitely.
We fucking needed it. Like, we needed it.
They were emergency workers, these guys coming to my door every day.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But, like, so since then, so when I first went into van life, I had cash. So I didn't need to work. And then the cash ran out about April or something.
Was it the first April or the second April?
Well,
no, that would have been the first. Yeah, 2020.
Yeah. No, it was
2021. Sorry, yeah, shit, 2021. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I moved into where was I? So I had the money, and then it ran out, and then so I went to the job centre, because my insurance and tax and stuff ran out on my van as well. So I went to the job centre and said, look, I'm homeless, I live in a van. I said, I'm not bothered about food for me or anything. All I need is something to get my tax and insurance, just so I don't lose my house. Yeah. And they gave me £5. They gave me £5, and they said it's because you were signing on last time and then you didn't sign on all this time. I was like, you were shut through COVID, and I had inheritance money, so if I had have signed on, I'd have been in the wrong there. And they were like, well, yes, you're right. And I was like, and every time you tried to contact me, I'd phone the number back, and they would say, we don't need you anymore, we'll be in touch in the future. And I said this to them, and they were like, well, we know our answering messages don't say that. I said, I think you'll find it fucking does. I said, you're calling me a liar. I said, look. And then within the moment I raised my voice, I got the security on me in the job centre. Yeah, that's the worst thing. It seemed like... And they were like, so you've been sanctioned for not claiming. I was like, well, surely me not having that money is the sanction. It's
I
not
didn't
like
need to claim then.
Yeah. So I was like, I just didn't get it. And then for like 3 months... Over the first month I got a £5. The next month I got something like 24 quid. The next one after that was like 56 quid. And then I was just like, and then my van broke down recently, and it was like a £2,000 bill. So I've just started working a little bit. The best job in the world, pot washing, just 11 till 5, 3 hours a day.
Anything you can get that gives you money afterwards is a fucking plus, though.
I'm a qualified chef. I was Boris Johnson's chef in France for 2 weeks, right?
Qualified chef?
Yeah, I've run the catering industry from top to bottom, but I don't want the stress. I don't want the hours.
They were looking... Oh, okay, yeah,
I don't want the either of it. Okay. I could be a chef, I could be front of hours, but I walk in this...
I understand that so much.
And it's literally my job's that, if you've got like a turd on the back of the bog and you're pissing on it to get it off throughout the day, and when you get that last bit off, it's my job all day long. The pan will come and I've got this hose pipe and just... And it's just, if I'm thinking about material all the time, so I can write notes and stuff. I'm pulling a lot of material from there as well, because now I'm 37, it's full of fucking young girls, man, and it's just like, oh my god. And every time I introduce myself to one of these young girls, I recognise the surname, I'm like, what's your dad do? I know your dad, I'm sure they do, and I'm never going to be able to bang her now. It's like, fucking hell.
You probably don't know, that's the thing, there's so many people with the same name as well, but I understand that, thinking about it.
But the thing where I'm from, it's quite a small community where I live, so...
Where are you from?
Well, I'm from Stoke, but where I live now is this little village called Leek, and it's rural. Like just around it there it's all fields and farms. It's right on the entrance of the Peak District, really, just leads over to Buxton. So it's got the Roaches there, which is a famous landmark. It's near Alton Towers.
Ah, I know that.
And so it's a lovely place to live, but everybody knows kind of everything. And I'm quite a loud person in general. I've been a lot of people know me, and I know a lot of people, so when you spot a surname, you think, oh, they are probably related, and then they're like, oh yeah, it's my dad, and I'm like, I wonder if you'd say anything if you took me home for Christmas or whatever. I'm like, it'd be quite a laugh, to be fair, but, I do enjoy working in the kitchen, but I don't want any responsibility, I don't want any money.
I can understand completely with that. Even though the worst part is, though, if we, with the comedy stuff, I believe that any of us that keep trying can get there. Doesn't mean we will. But even if we do get there, that's as soon as we get there with like a podcast or the comedy stuff, it's going to feel like responsibility though. That's the worst thing.
Well, I
hate the idea of thinking it's going to feel like a responsibility at some point.
I think with the podcast and stuff, because the way that job that we do, it's not like a job, is it? You can sit back and do this, and you don't even have to have much, as long as you churn one out every couple of days or whatever. Yeah. And even then,
you know how I say, any job that you can have where you're encouraged, but it's okay either way. Any job you can have where you can get wasted.
Well, that's it.
At the same time.
Are you planning on getting any sponsorship, or have you tried?
I haven't tried yet. The numbers on there yet.
I've been trying before I even set it up. I've been approaching businesses and being like, look, I've got 10 guests ready, but the thing is, I've put all my money into these cameras and stuff like that. You invest in me now, and then, because otherwise, there's no point coming to me when I've already made it, because that's what we want. And I've said this to a few businesses. I'm like, You invest in me now, and then it'll benefit you within.
I'm not gonna lie, that probably won't work.
Well, I think it does.
Does it work?
Does. Yeah, it works for a lot of people because you don't get if you don't ask.
That is very true.
And there's no point, and people, and you're not asking them for nothing. You say, look, at the beginning of my podcast, I'll shout you out, or I'll wear your brand, or you can with my camper and stuff. I'll sticker up my camper with your logo or something on. And then you book in for, like, say, your 6 adverts on 6 episodes for say £50 an episode or something. And then,
Mate, if you can do that, that's fucking banging.
But you've got to go to them and approach. That doesn't come to you. And the thing is, when I was doing it, I didn't have much experience in the comedy thing, so I didn't have many videos and that. So now I'm ready to go at it again. But I've already planted the seed there a few months ago, and they've always come back with, like, come back when you've got a bit more material and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the good thing about the money running out for me is it makes me hungry for going. It drives me to do more. And I sit there going, I'm fucking broke. How am I going to do this without how I want to do it, without having to give up and go and work in a factory or something 12 hours a day? Because that's what I don't want to do. At the moment, my life is 75% comedian, 25% pot wash, you know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, but that 25% is just so you can do the other 75%.
That's fuel money for getting to the gig, that's all it is.
So that still is basically the same thing?
Well, it is in a way.
So you can look 100% technically.
Well, comedian, yes.
Yeah, 100% comedian, yeah. Do you know what I mean? You're doing it for that.
Exactly, and that job doesn't take any of my other... It doesn't exhaust anything else out of me, you know what I'm saying? It's just... It's a laugh and
it's a place to think as well.
Exactly,
which is one of the main things, because a lot of people don't give themselves the time to think.
Yeah, and you do. Otherwise, the thing is, if you just do this, you've got a lot of spare time on your hands, and with spare time becomes boredom, and you end up sitting around watching shit or whatever.
Boredom's good.
It's good, but too much,
If you use it, boredom's good.
If you can handle it as well, it's good. If you can get used to doing nothing, if you can sit there and do nothing without touching your phone, watching a screen.
If you can be comfortable in your own thoughts, that's the main thing.
I love my own thoughts.
I used to hate it, but I got to a point, and now I'm at a point where I love my thoughts. I've always loved the things I think about, but now I'm at a point where I'm good. Like, it's been there for a while now, but...
Well, even bad thoughts are good thoughts in a way.
Yeah, they are.
You're analysing them. You look at them in a different way and you'll learn from them. You know, if it was all good thoughts, then we'd all be...
Bad thoughts are better.
Of course.
If anything.
Make you learn.
You
would learn from the bad stuff and it directs you in the way you want to go.
That's probably, to be fair, a lot of the reason why people don't like being left to their own thoughts, because they assume it has to be good ones all the time.
The thing is... No fuckers left to their own thoughts anymore because they've got something in their hand telling them what to think all the time. There's none of that left to your own thoughts.
Don't even tell you what to think though, because I have this in my head, but I will still regularly just pull out my phone and have a look. Because it's fun. And that's the worst part, is that it's fun. It's very harmful.
Yeah, it's very harmful, really harmful, yeah.
But the same thing, do you know when books were originally made? Like, one of the original, I swear it was, not books, but it was like, in the Egyptian time and all that, somewhere around that, when they were talking about writing things on the tablets and that, one of the pharaohs back then, or something, said about, like, do you not feel like people are going to get dumber? Because now they've got this, they don't have to remember it. It's there for them on a page, tablet.
Back then,
so the fact that it's there, you're going to make the people dumber because you don't have to remember it. And that... with phones and that is like a whole nother.
Oh yeah. I mean, not everyone's got a fucking massive rock in their pocket with hieroglyphics on them walking around Egypt with it. I mean, no one can take a picture of it. It's not everyone has got that knowledge here as it is now.
Him saying that though is probably more apt for the internet rather than back then. That's a lot more apt for the internet, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it does make people. I always think, what if there is a big switch off one day? And people can't get to one place to another. They don't know what the fuck's going on, and it's
like an internet switch.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And it's not just the internet that goes. Everything goes, doesn't it? Or you, everything up and down the motorway, everything up and down the country, all your tills, everything is so real. Everything, and it's just like it's gonna. That's your civil war right there. That's your civil war.
I don't even know if it's a civil war. I just think it'll be people going crazy for a bit. I think it'll be chill after a week.
Well, the thing is, the moment that shit starts crashing, the lorries aren't driving, nothing's coming through, things are running out.
Oh, that kind of shit, okay, yeah.
You know, it's soon it goes to chaos, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What was it like? First week of COVID, you couldn't get a toilet roll. You know,
oh yeah.
They go mental. Everyone goes
mental.
mental.
That was because people went fucking crazy.
Yeah,
though.
But they always do, don't they? Because it's just fucking humanity. Some people, they think they fret too much about the important. You know.
Sadly, as much as we don't like to admit it, though, the government are better at dealing with some of the things when it happens. Like, they're still going to be, you know, like they'll figure out the trucks so that they can get from A to B to deliver stuff. That's something they'll figure out quickly. Because it benefits
pull
them.
The army in there, don't they? They pull the army in. And who gets paid for the army? All the people that sit in the government.
Yeah. Every single thing they do is to give themselves more money.
Yeah, exactly.
Every single thing.
And that's what drives me fucking insane the most, man. Yeah. It's just like, you know, you've got your army there. They should be, you know, if anything, fighting for your country if needed. Not taking... Because if the army are going to jump into everyone else's jobs, it kind of takes the thing away from the people in them positions all the time, aren't it? Because it's just like, it's like the strike and stuff we're doing now. Army are getting pulled into do that NHS kind of stuff, and it's just like...
I don't know if we should get onto the strike stuff. Apparently, my opinion...
Let's not.
See, I'm always happy to, but apparently my opinion is not the liked opinion about it.
You know, you're not going to make everyone happy all of the time. I'm sure it's liked by a lot of people, and I mean...
I just think everyone's too worried about whether they're getting enough money, and not enough people are worried about the root cause issue. And if we're going to protest about things, maybe not protest in a way that's going to fuck everyone else over, but not the people that can change it, the MPs. Because I don't know if anyone thinks this, but an MP, I'm sorry, they're not on the NHS.
Yeah, they've got their own private...
Like, Rishi is not on the NHS.
Yeah.
He's going to be fine.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but it's when the people come banging on the door and from like the people who do need to...
I'm sorry, does anyone think that they give a shit about us?
Oh no, they don't.
Do you know what I'm saying? So they don't give a shit about that.
It's like it's just.
But I get it. Obviously,
it's a shit state, isn't it?
None of it should ever be a thing because it always. The fact that like the NHS hasn't been given more money after the pandemic is ridiculous to me.
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy.
It does take the piss, but. It's all swings and roundabouts and vicious circles.
I've just become extremely nihilistic about it now. I used to defend the government and defend other things, and now I'm like, no, nobody cares. Let's just have fun.
The moment they go, right, we give them a raise, taxes go up, which means everyone else is pissed off because they're getting taxed more. Because every time someone else gets paid in one area, the taxes will go up because it's not like fucking it's coming out of their back pocket. It's
always coming out of us,
and then somebody else will suffer from what's going on there. Like, you know, it's a tricky old world. If
it would actually be explained enough and it was transparent enough, then I think most people would be okay paying taxes for certain things. But it's never that. It's never going to be that.
No, it drives me insane. You know,
it drives me insane.
For road tax, right? It pisses me off because the amount of tyres and springs and stuff that I have to replace on my van because the roads are that bad.
Oh,
the potholes and stuff. I'm not joking. The potholes. I
can imagine.
And it's horrible. And you just think, fucking hell, there's a grand. And it's just like, and there's no way of you complaining with that. You try and complain to them and they'll be like, can you tell us the name and date and all this bullshit? There's hundreds of paperwork. But
that's how they get around the shit. It's the red tape.
Yeah, of course it is.
And all that.
It definitely is. They fill you with all this bullshit, and then you just think, you know what, I can't be arsed. But when my mum died, I tried to get some help with the funding for the funeral. They sent that much paperwork. I was like, fucking hell, I'm on the verge of fucking killing myself here. Do you think I'm going to sit and do paperwork?
On purpose, man.
Of course they do.
They do that shit on purpose.
Of course
they really do.
Because you know, most people who are in them conditions and them positions probably aren't that good at reading and writing and filling out paperwork. Hence why they're in a position.
I know you got
sometimes.
the attention stuff too. That's a whole other part of it too. Of people that won't be good at that.
What's that? Sorry.
Well, not just the reading and writing part. The people who've got crap attention.
Of course, yeah.
I'm good at my reading and writing, but my attention is abysmal.
And there's, you know,
that's why God invented drugs.
Definitely.
Like it really fucking is. do you know the main reason the people got into an actual civilization? Is what made people get into an actual, you know what, we're going to join together in like a city, a civilization, you know. We're going to join together and build it from here. Do you know why?
I'd have thought it would do something with like the more that are there, because we were always coming over in they were always taking stuff to start off with, so they'd come in gangs or whatever, so they'd always start off as a crowd.
Yeah.
And then, you know, when they first get here and stuff, so I'd have thought that they would be like that from the off, but...
See, that makes more sense. And the idea that it builds and builds.
Yeah, yeah.
No. A few of these little tribes are going about, and they discovered beer.
Yeah? What, it would mead, probably.
Well, yeah, some kind of, like, old ass lager of some kind. But basically, once you have little bits in these little groups, they'll be like, oh, we had a little bit. Okay, there's no more now. Okay, we'll go to the next place where we can find this thing that's growing. Okay, we'll have a little bit more now. And eventually they were like, fuck that. Let's just all sit together in a giant place, grow it. Then we can make as much beer mead as we want.
So everything like weed, like the hemp as well. The hemp used to be the saviour of everything back before the thing. And it only ever got outlawed because of the industry, where it was too well used in all the industry, so there was so much industry moving out of it, so they banned it from being an industrial product.
You know what, before you get onto that, because I wanted to mention this, because the thing you were talking about before made me think of it, and you put two and two together, and it's your thing I'm going to advertise anyway. Was that bud and all that kind of stuff, was that anything to do with the Green Room Dubcast? Because I saw something about it on your Facebook.
Yeah, of course. Well, I'm a proud smoker anyway, like, so out in my van, bright green camper.
You said I'm proud to be camper then, or what?
I'm proud to be camper as well, you know.
I would be,
perfect for me sometimes, you know. Sometimes you've got it, but I've always been a smoker, so everyone knows. So that van represents me anyway, because it's bright green. And I've always thought, how can I implement this with that? So I contact legislation companies and stuff like that, and tell them my material's quite about weed and stuff, so I try and link everything to it. Same as my comedy is James Brogan, T.H.C. comedian, whereas we know T.H.C. stands for the...
Yeah, you put it as something else, didn't you?
The happy camper.
That was it, yeah. I saw the thing about that,
and that's my brand, you see, so that's going to be like a brand and that. And then...
that's a good idea, that is.
And obviously the Green Room and Greenhouse Productions, it's like... Cause I love the green, mate, and I'm not going to hide it for, you know. Oh,
you shouldn't hide it. Most of the world, it's not a thing anyway.
It's an up-and-coming business, and I want to be part of it, and if I can get linked in with any of these companies, then... So
you know what?
I was actually contacted by a guy who runs Seed Our Future, Guy Coxwell, actually, a few weeks ago. He's a massive person that supports the legislation of all kinds of weed and medical marijuana and what. And
medical marijuana is like a thing now, though.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
And he's asked me if I could maybe put together, like, you know, Bill Hicks. You must have heard of Bill Hicks. Yeah. Old school comedian. We'll get this one.
Yeah.
But he used to always smoke and on stage.
He's dead now, isn't he?
He died at the age of 33.
Oh, fuck.
Get this, when he was doing his stand-up, he was on stage, and part of his act is like, yeah, I fucking smoke and I do drugs, I've had a good time, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, one thing that I dread is me coming on the stage when I'm 40 and I've got a tank on and I can't breathe, blah, blah, blah. And then he died at 33. Massive tragedy. I'm sure he's 33.
I don't like hearing that.
Young. Well, the thing is,
I've enjoyed drugs and alcohol most of my life since about 16. I do not like hearing people died at 33.
Well,
you know
what?
Pretend you didn't say that.
If you're going to die of anything, it's probably going to be the alcohol rather than the drugs.
Oh, I drink a lot less than I smoke and drug. Alcohol's probably the least thing I do.
The fucking worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
I've just had a sad story back at up at next door to my marital home yesterday. There's a couple who live next door, two twin kids whose 8th birthday it was the other day, but the mum and dad were both drinkers. The mum's been taken in on their twin's birthday, told she's probably through the woods, but she died the day after yesterday, like, and all through the drink. And they said look, it was coming off the drink which had killed her.
And
it did my mum as well not long ago. And the thing is, I've never heard of anybody dying because they've had a joint or they've stopped smoking a joint. And it's just such a fucking biased thing, and I'm just like, I'll go down with that shit, man.
It's because the physical stuff that you get from bud, it can't hurt you. The idea of like it's impossible.
The only harmful thing in a joint is the part which is legal, the tobacco.
Okay, yeah.
You know, and the fact that you can buy tobacco and alcohol, it's just such a massive hypocrisy.
Yeah, there is harmful stuff with the T.H.C. in bud.
If you were to smoke it, you know, that's because you're smoking something. Then if you were to eat it, there's no bad thing. But what, to eat a plant? No, it's not.
No, but I mean in the sense of not in the sense ever that it's gonna fuck you over physically, but you can get too high.
Oh, you mean from getting too stoned, right?
Yeah.
Well, you can get
that can fuck you up that way.
But you always come down though, don't you?
You'll always come down. Yeah, you'll be fine eventually. Yeah, as long as you're around people that will look after you, you're fine.
Yeah,
you're all good.
It is what it is. And the thing is, right, what everyone gets addicted to in life, or what people turn to, the first time you ever have it, they make you sick. So why do people get addicted to?
Shot?
Yeah, chuck it in there for us.
Okay.
Like the first time I ever had a cigarette, coughed my bollocks off, hated it, got addicted to cigarettes for years. First time I ever had a joint or a bong, threw a whitey, nearly died. Wanted to do it for the rest of my life. Alcohol, it's the same. Everything's a bad start, isn't it? It's just like it starts off and you're like, no, I'll get through this. I
guarantee you will agree with me about this. I'm not even going to say the main thing, actually. To you, what is the main gateway drug?
Probably illegal or legal.
No. What is the main gateway drug? Illegal or illegal, yeah?
Alcohol, I would say, is the main.
Cool. Yeah.
But it's not. It's illegal drug, so you know it's bullshit. But definitely, I would say, and before that, I'd say tobacco, because it's one of the first. You're young when you first start. So it's always the first thing you try, and no one goes straight to fucking crack, do they? It's like you'll be like,
you know what? I know a few. I know a few.
They're fucking deep as them are. You know, they're like, fuck that. No,
they exist, man. I've even met a few functioning crackheads.
I mean, I know people who may have smoked, quit the fags, then gone to crack and gone, fuck nicotine. I'm more having a crack pipe, but I'm not smoking fags. Fuck that, you know. But I think...
to be fair, nicotine is one of the few drugs that you smoke it and it will just get you back to your original level. Most drugs, you smoke it or whatever and it will get you to a high level.
Yeah.
Nicotine's the only one that you smoke to get back to your original level.
From where, though?
From being, I am stressed out, I need a cigarette.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah. But I think a lot of drugs do that, like even, you know, a cup of tea does that. You know, if you're stressed or whatever.
Yeah, okay, that's your head though, that's not the tea.
Because I've had fags and I've been fucked for like 5 minutes. You ever had a quick fag and been like, whoa!
Oh yeah, but you don't smoke fags, so you don't
No, but I used to. Like, I can save the first one in the morning and you just...
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, I was about to say, generally that's what it does, but the first one in the morning, yes, you get a nicky rush.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're younger,
knock you sideways, that kind of, it's just like, fuck you know.
That's when you know you smoke too much, because you don't get a nicky rush anymore, whatever, even in the morning, straight away.
I wake and bake every day, mate. I normally go to sleep with a joint in the ashtray and I wake up and spark it straight up and go back to sleep for another hour or two. Oh. It's bad for me as well because I find it's like hot boxing.
No, I do exactly that. No,
but I'm in a hot box there.
Oh, you're in a little thing, yeah.
Yeah, and I smoke a joint and then the smoke sits in there for hours. It's probably really bad for my chest.
For that reason, that's fine. Everybody's chest's fucked anyway. I mean, do you really think that now, back in like, what, a couple 100 years ago, we knew the world was polluted because we could see the smog everywhere?
Yeah, of course.
Now, it's more polluted than it ever was before, but we can't see it. Just obviously because they figured out ways like with gas, you know, like a lot of the stuff you can't see the stuff anymore.
Well, they started. They put
so it's still there, you just can't see it.
They had to start putting filters and stuff on all the plants and stuff, so they've got all massive filters and dampeners on there now. But yeah, did you ever seen them videos where all the cars are covered in black soot and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Fuck that, man. Fuck that.
I mean, yeah, that's just, like I said though, most of it is just ignoring the stuff you can see. Most of the chemicals are still going to be there. Like,
I suppose what you can't see doesn't kill you or something if you just turn a blind eye, I suppose, don't you? It's one of those things.
There's
if you don't see it,
what's that phrase? Happens. There's a phrase for that, isn't it? Yeah, what you can't see can't hurt you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which is a lie.
Yeah, it's
me. I don't know about you.
The most.
Don't know about you. I could not see COVID.
True, yeah.
There's different opinions about that, so we'll talk about another one though. I cannot see a heart attack.
Good, yeah. But I suppose you can on other people.
No, I can see them doing things, but I can't see the heart attack.
Well, you can't.
I can't see it.
It's covered up though, isn't it, I suppose?
It is covered up. Got a fleshy interior.
If you live by that rule for life, you're going to be pretty fucking wild, aren't you? I can't see anything that's going on in my body, so I'm just going to do it all. I feel the pains. I sit there most nights going, fucking stomach pain I have. Like, I've got liver cancer, I've got something going on.
Yeah, is that a thing? Because I swear, since I turned 30, that's every night I'm like, what's that pain? What's that pain?
Well, it's a thing, but the issue is, when you're
30,
knowingly doing stuff that will do that kind of stuff to your body, you can't really complain, can you? It's
no, but I think everything does this. I think it's just our body when we get to that age, most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, my body fucking must be thrash, man, to be fair. But
Oh,
then I have I'll have a multivitamin and a glass of water and I'll be like, well, I've done something good today. Never mind all the other shit that I've done for the rest of the day.
I did a podcast with one of my good childhood friends recently that they can't see it because it was fuzzed out, the half of it. It was the illegal street artist that I had on for one of the last In Your House, the last one actually. And he has always looked extremely healthy. And then I hadn't seen him for a few years. We came back and he's just drugging constantly. And I saw him, I'm like, oh, you don't look great.
What, he'd been drugging constantly?
No, he has since before we were.
How old is he?
He's a year below me, so he's 30.
A lot of people, it does just come on to him straight away, doesn't it? I look at people and I think, fuck me, you look rougher than me.
Basically, my point I was going to get to was that you don't look that unhealthy. If you've been drugging a lot through all your life,
I've been
you
caning
look
it
good.
for well over half of my life, since I was 15, 14, probably started smoking weed at 14, tooting gas at 13, but...
I never understood that one.
The thing is, again...
You're about the NOS? Or?
No, just like a lighter gas. You never done
you're talking always sunny in Philadelphia. You're talking Maypole Bills and shit.
This was before I could get tobacco or weed or anything, whatever's around the house, and you're like, well, we'll lighten my day up a little bit.
I understand that level, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but I think that's the thing with me. I've always been a bit...
You're an
always
unsoberist.
looking for some... Pardon?
You're an unsoberist? An unsoberist.
I like to feel like I can open up a different side of me, you spend most of your life level. I like to experience the other side of my brain a lot.
Well, it's not even the other side, it's the same brain.
Yeah, but you only use something like 10% of your brain.
It's bullshit, it's not true.
It's not at all, it's not.
No, that is not true.
But it's not true.
It's not true.
Of course it is.
It's not, no.
Have you never seen any brain tests where they've got it on, and they're doing certain things?
Have you ever seen a tongue test where it shows you had that part of your tongue? You can get salt. That part of your tongue.
How much of the brain do you think you use all of your brain?
Okay. Because I've seen a few things where it pointed out that it wasn't true. And I'm going to Google it for you.
Google it.
I'm going to Google it.
And another thing is, even if it used all of it at different bits, because only certain bits act for certain things, so maybe a little bit would be used for one act and another.
Which
but
is
I'm
why
sure half of your brain thing. That's why when you do DMT and stuff like that, you open up a completely different side of it, which
that's your dream side. Any DMT.
What's that? Sorry.
DMT is the dream side.
Dream
which is
side.
why, which is why every time you take DMT, you feel like it feels like you've been there before, because it's the same thing that's released when you take DMT. DMT is released into your brain naturally. It's a part of your brain.
Yeah.
When you dream.
Speaking of that kind of stuff, I had some shrooms the other day, and it was the first England match, and I love shrooms and stuff, but I haven't done it for a while.
That's one thing I want to do. I've never done it, and I haven't made so many shrooms every time he comes around. That guy, because he was recently won it again. Yeah,
it's just finished the season. But I got some the other week, and me and my mate just watching the football, and I was like, I got these shrooms, should we have a bit? We had one brew sound, he's got this wallpaper and getting some nice visuals and stuff whilst watching the match and that. And I was like, I'm going to have another brew. He missed that brew, and then we had another brew after that.
Oh, so you tea it?
Well, I just boiled it up, and I was putting it in coffee actually, just making the coffee and then just brewing it in any kind of way to sweat it out. That's all it is.
Is it? If you got it, do you put it in water and you don't want to let it boil if you do that?
No, you can boil it if you want, because it's not going anywhere. You're just stewing them, but you can chew them dry.
Yeah, that's what most of the people I know. They just eat them, just get them in.
But I wanted to put them with the coffee, so it had a double little hit of that, so a trippy and a little caffeine rush as well. And it was brilliant for the first 3 hours, and then all of a sudden my arse went, and I had to run to his bathroom because I thought I was going to shit myself. Right, I'm not joking. Out of nowhere, there must have been a bit of a dodgy mushroom somewhere, and it only takes a bad pick or something, and you can have a simple mushroom, and
not true.
Uses virtually every part of their brain. More over the course of an average day, humans use nearly 100% of their brain. Yeah, but what did you type in? Okay.
Do you know what it is though?
How can you use more than 10? What percentage? But the thing is, this is like what I did say before, but it probably does use all of it, but not at the same time.
I was about to say, because I used to think the exact same thing, and then I learned it wasn't, and that's exactly what I thought about it too. Because, do you know when people say that men can't multitask but women can? Bullshit.
I've never fucking said that. What? I've never said that. I give
some people say
no benefit. None of them are better than me.
Fucking there is no you can't multitask like in a way that, because it's like you said, different parts of your brain to do different things. So to make that point, you can and you can't, because you can walk along and type a message. Use two different parts of your brain.
You're probably using more than two, aren't you?
Well, okay, yeah, you're using at least so one for physical walking, one to language. But you can never have a conversation with someone and try and type a message. Never. You always type what you're saying, or it comes out in different ways.
I suppose that, but you know what? I've seen kids like.
Well, they don't exist. Fuck them.
They do that. They don't even look at the phones and they're texting.
Yeah,
like
I know.
They're fucking weird as anything. You're
I
like,
used to be able to do
God.
that. I used to be able to look and not look what I'm typing. I used to be able to do it on a keyboard too. Can't do it on either now.
You know there's going to be loads of people walking around like this in the future, all bent, bummed and lumpy necked from this.
Fucking full on carpal tunnel from this.
Well, this, right, you know what, fair play to you, but I do get...
What?
This thing, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's just from me saying the exact same thing and then someone doing the exact same thing to me. Well, honestly, God, that's where that came from.
And then the thing is, we all turn to Google. And then imagine if one day someone come out and go, you know all this stuff on Google. Not even true. Yeah, it's not even true. My mate wrote it in fucking his bedroom. It could be fucking anything. You never know, do you? It's fucking mental, the web.
Like, I was about to say to you, like, I was about to put it in such a weird way, how do you feel about it? But there's no way to feel about it, because we don't use Twitter over here, really. The whole Elon Musk thing with Twitter and that.
Yeah, I don't use it, but a lot of people do, you know. A lot of people do.
I don't think that much over here, do they?
Don't think.
I don't know, maybe I'm just old and don't
I think they're doing the comedy thing. It's good for comedy and getting your name, because you can do it with the celebs there, can't you? You can tag the celebrities into stuff and or people who are doing.
I'm doing a podcast tonight. Jason Manford, do you like it? Like that, or
yeah, but the thing is, that's. You can type and tag them in, so you can slag them off, like, you know, the keyboard warriors. I think it is quite popular. Twitter is, you know. I think
it is, to be fair.
Maybe not just, but I try and not get involved in much social media stuff, really.
You just go on and do the shit you have to do for comedy.
Mainly, yeah, and then anything else, maybe you do a picture of me, a little in at Christmas for people who I don't see or whatever, or not much, or. But, you know, it is what it is. But
I'm kind of the same. Did that screen turn off then by any chance?
No, it's on this.
Didn't turn off at all when that came on. That's shocking. It normally turns off every time when that computer, to fucking freezer.
Don't tell everyone there's a freezer there. Oh, it's full of, what's in the freezer?
The fucking things. Fucking Christmas food that we don't need. Fucking things in there, and I had to go full Tetris the other day trying to figure out how to get it all in there.
Yeah. I don't have any of that issue.
I don't want it.
It's the thing, when you live in a van, I haven't got room for a fridge. You know, I just have to depend on what the weather's like outside. If it's going to be cold, I can get something that needs to stay chilled. But if it's going to be a hot day, you just have to fucking get stuff into.
Yeah, when it's a hot day, there's worse issues to have, though, ain't there?
Oh yeah. I have none of these issues. It's great,
man. Honestly, you don't understand how much I love the idea of that van. Like, that is exactly what I would do.
It is brilliant.
Like, the only reason I'm around here, like, not doing that kind of thing is, like, looking after my mum and that. Like,
That's
honestly,
the thing.
She knows that that's the kind of thing that, like, just me as well, that I loved it. When I was telling her about what you do, she was like, that sounds like the kind of stuff you like.
I would say this to you. Wait until mum's gone, definitely. Because my mum has gone, and I wish it fucking. I would definitely.
No, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
So get this, keep hold of this, because if you fucked off in your van now, you'd miss it.
I could never do that. That's the thing.
But
I couldn't do that.
When you do come to the chance where you got
I can still do both. When I'm going to gigs and stuff. So.
Have you got misses?
No,
that's another thing. Don't get a missus as well, because they hamper your dream as well, definitely. Well,
yeah, I've already done the kids and misses and house and getting married and all that too.
How old are you now?
Well, I'm only 31, but I've still done all that.
Yeah, you're in and out. It's good, that is. You've done it and you're out of it.
Yeah, it does feel good, because other people that I know are dealing with that kind of thing now at my age.
Well,
and I've already done it all.
Even now to do it at that age, I thought I'd done well to be married, divorced, have a kid, have a house, and I'd done it all, tried it, and be out by the time I was 35.
I didn't get married, but we was
you
like
well,
a month away from getting married.
Like you know, had that commitment.
We were engaged and about to get married.
So if you
I know what you mean, man. It's a good thing.
If it is in your head, do it, because it's even if it's just for a year or two, it's a lifestyle, because the people you meet on the road and stuff, even if you're just in car parks and stuff, I get all the time, because people will walk past me and I'll be like blazing up, and they'll smile at first time, and then they'll come back and be like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, well, I'm a comedian, so I'm up and down roads, so I'm always dropping it straight away, just trying to get people out. I'm like, just check it out on Facebook, check it out, and you get a little follower here and there, and then everyone's interested.
That fucking marketing, man. That's what you do.
Definitely, mate. Definitely.
That's how you get that kind of shit.
And
nobody else is going to mention it. We have to.
And the people I meet are always really nice, because I generally meet people in country park car parks or by a mountain or something like that.
If you're not a dickhead, and you're not a dickhead,
no, I'm approachable as well.
You know, most people are fucking lovely. That's the thing.
This couple came up to me the other day. I was at the Roaches, and this guy's walking towards me. He's got like an empty weave and picnic basket with like a flowery thing in it, and I was like, "They for your shrooms?" And they were like, "Yeah, we're just on this way go picking now." Like, and it was brilliant. And like at Edinburgh Fringe Festival as well, we went there this year, and they didn't put on the ACT camping area where I was at in 2019, so I was just like, fuck it, parked in the middle of Edinburgh Fringe
camping area.
Yeah, but, we put like an ACT and stuff like that camp on an old airfield beforehand, but since COVID, the landowners had tried to charge them shitloads more, so
it'll come back a bit.
But I didn't realise that till I got to Edinburgh, and it was like, fuck, and my mate had come with me, and he was supposed to just tent it. So I was just like, fuck it. It's parked in the middle of town, right, where it's like, I paid 20 quid for 4 hours the moment I got there, and then I was like, you know what? Fuck it, let them just put a ticket on it, and I'll put broke down on it, we'll stay here all week. And we did that as well, and people, because it was bang in the middle of town, everyone was walking past, always blazing. I met so many interesting people, and the comedians would be coming over, awesome, all the comedians would be coming round, and they'd be like, fucking this is the one, and it's just brilliant, because when you, it's like, if you want to get your face out there, you can do it. Well, you don't even have to do it. But the thing is, it doesn't. Once people are smelling the weed or whatever, if they ever like you or not, and if they don't, then they probably don't want to come speak to me. But there's so many people that are chilled and cool, and they just like, you know, this is our dream. It's normally married men that are like, oh man, I want to do this. This is what I want to do. I want to fucking leave my wife. I want to leave my kids. I just want to come and do this.
Oh, I talk about that. What?
No, come. Well. We'll go to that. But like again, it's brilliant for going out and having some wild, sexy times as well. I meet people off pub swingers and go and meet for threesomes and stuff, but want to go and do it in a camper van. I got loads of offers like that. It is cool.
I learned the other day there's a dating site for people that want threesomes. I can't remember what it is now.
Have you not heard of Fab Swingers?
What?
Fab Swingers.
No, that's swingers though.
No, people who want threesomes, people who want fucking everything. It covers every base, I can assure you. It is not. If someone's just marketing for threesomes, they've got a fucking bit of a shit market there. Because who wants a threesome that doesn't want a foursome? Or who wants a threesome that doesn't want a fucking orgy, you know what I'm saying?
And why would somebody want a threesome if they didn't want an orgy?
Yeah, exactly. Losing business there, that's a bad app. But Fab Swingers, check it out. I always advertise it. I've messaged them saying,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I bring it up in a lot of my sets as well. I did a competition a few weeks ago, right? And I was like, I was a bit nervous when I first got here, but now I know that I've got 3 of the judges in my inbox on Fab Swingers. I've got it fucking nailed. If any of you put your cards up, I'm outing you. And they got through, and it was brilliant. Like, and then people are asking, like, what's Fab Swinging? And I quite often go, do I recognise you? I was like, do this. And they cover the face, but I was like, that's your Fab Swingers, isn't it? Like, it's really good for material.
It's a real thing as well, because if you do it on stage and the people don't get it, you can have that whole offshoot moment where you're like, oh, it's a...
Oh, if they don't get it, we do by the time I've finished telling everyone gets it, because they might pretend they don't get it, but everyone...
That's what I'm saying. I love that idea of... I love the fucking... You know when they always say you shouldn't explain the joke?
Yeah.
No.
It's like fucking
sometimes it's fucking great to explain the joke.
Oh, yeah. Spit it on. Like, you can't see what's gone on there, guys. This has happened and this has happened. But yeah, it's good for material. And like I say, I tell people that I'm meeting as well. I'm like, look, I'm a comedian. I might write some material about this. And I was in this hotel last Christmas, last winter, just as I'd got into Van Life. I had loads of money, so I was like, fuck, I'll stay in a hotel. But most of the time, I'd be outside in my van smoking weed, and then I'd just go back into the hotel. And like midnight, I'm on Fab Swingers, and this couple are like, we're staying at this hotel, do you want to come and fuck my missus? And I was like, yeah, is that alright with you? And then he didn't get back to me for a bit, and I was like, is this a bit of a setup? And then I went back to the room, and then he's like, sorry, she fell asleep, do you want to come round now? I was like, what, while she's asleep? He's like, no, she's awake now. Do you want to just come round and she'll suck you off? And I was like, yeah. I was like, what? This is sorry, I shouldn't have. I was like, yeah, so he's like,
there's nothing wrong with what you said. I'm just like, what?
He's this is my material. I don't want to give it all away. So
I just realised it might be kind of dark in here because I know we'll turn the light on to begin with. But I'm not turning it on now because I was drinking. It's going to hurt my head if I do. So it's staying dark.
It's fine. It's probably better for the material anyway. But yeah, so this guy's like, yeah, you can come to our room now. Give me the room number, and I was like, you better not be setting me up because you could not even be at this hotel. And I go knocking on doors, and I was like, I walked around this room, and I says, right, I walked past, open the door. I walked past, no one opened the door. Turned back round, and as I turned back round to head back, this door opened behind me, and this woman answered, and she was stunning, absolutely stunning. This couple in Bangor, they were in Stoke for a reason. And she's like, yeah, come in. He's asleep now. I just suck you off if you want. And I was like, yeah, sound.
Yeah,
and,
okay.
It was a suite as well. So I've walked into the room. It's a room with a settee and a coffee table. She's like, sit there, take your pants off. And I was like, where's your pal? She's like, and there was an archway with a double bed in it. And he was in bed there, and I was like, okay. She's like, don't worry about it. And I was like, oh, it's a bit weird. I've been wired up and that. And I was but fuck it, I'm rolling material. And then she's like, and I was like, wow, you are. She was fit as well, man. I'm not joking. I'll show you pictures of her. And then so she started sucking us off, and then all of a sudden I can hear like the sound of jewellery rattling, and I look up, and through the archway I can just see like the side of like an arm just going up and down, and he's going, go on girl, and I was like, come sit with us, please. I'm alright here, mate. He's like, yeah,
I'm not even here. I'm not even here, mate. I'm just watching.
But it was such a mad experience. But yeah, that
I'm just watching, mate. Carry on.
That's exactly what it was. And I was like, oh, I like your tattoo, mate. Fucking hell, that's fun. Okay.
Stop talking to me. I'm not here.
That's exactly right. It was a weird fucking experience.
No, I know for a fact those people exist, don't you? They exist.
Oh, they exist everywhere.
I don't understand it, but they exist. If you can think of it...
You only don't understand it because you haven't experienced it.
No, you as the person being the one using that advantage, that's fine, I understand that.
Yeah, from this point, exactly, but to be him.
The person.
Yeah, this is another thing. Same as I go swingers clubs and that, but I'd never go with my girlfriend, but I will shag someone else's girlfriend.
Yeah, that's different. And they like it, that's their thing.
Exactly.
They like seeing their girl get fucked by someone else.
But I don't think I could do it with my missus.
Because you're not a guy that gets turned on by your missus fucking someone else. Or fucking
someone else. If you were to be fair, though, And you'd be like, well, if he's letting me fuck his missus...
He's fine.
Yeah, it's fine, definitely.
I'm fully open to anyone and everything.
Everyone's got the kinks. Like I say, I get invited to all kinds of shit, man, and I love it.
Trust me, that was one beautiful thing about being at a certain age and then having the internet.
Well,
you appreciate it. When I was talking earlier about certain things you can learn from the internet, I meant porn. That's the beautiful thing.
I met porn before the internet, though. Did you never find any dirty magazines in the bushes when you were younger?
Yeah.
That was the best porn. I used to love them big fucking bushes on the fucking centrefold. Oh my days! I wish you could still find them. Like I'm still go. I haven't put my head in a bush every now and again just in case.
Just in case. I went to a boys' school, so it would be trading like porn DVDs.
Yeah. So that's pretty good.
It was never the thing. It was always DVDs. I don't think it was ever videos when I was in secondary school.
I forget you're younger. I was going to say
not much younger. Videos were like
yeah.
I remember videos. I got a video player in there still.
A video player.
Yeah. Videos are my thing. I used to love them. I used to collect all the Simpson episodes, all the Simpson videos, the actual VHS. And then when it got DVD'd, I got bored and then I stopped doing it.
You know, with all this technology and stuff now, and you think everything's all online, no scratching and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. And music, films and whatever, because that used to be the issue. If you had a video, it might shake a little bit, or a DVD might get scratched, but fucking online's just as bad. You can just drive down the street and signal cuts out back and forth all the time, and it's just as bad as having a scratched DVD or a video. I say video is better because you never had that issue. You could always tune it in a little bit, and it was hardcore. Whereas this fucking Wi-Fi thing, I think it's just as bad as having a scratched DVD or something.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't know how often you were driving down the road with a video player on.
Oh no!
I remember my old video playing stuff. I remember watching a video. I do not remember driving down the road while watching a video.
Did you drive?
No, but no, that's not the point. I don't remember anyone else driving.
But I mean, from music-wise, like now, like old tape deck.
Okay.
Remember an old tape deck? They never used to fucking skip. They never used to scratch or.
So you're on about like listening to like a podcast or listening to music?
Normally, I just play music from YouTube. I just put YouTube on, and it's got my algorithm, knows what I like to listen to, so it's always there. And where I live, because it's quite a rural area or whatever, there's quite a lot of country lanes or whatever, and it just scratches in and out, and I'm like, look, what difference has happened in that 10 yards there? It was fine there, not alright there, then fine. Sort your technology out if you're going to fucking do it.
Man, it still happens in the city too. I just realised a certain area you go to, and
city life is different, isn't it? It's always there.
No, that's what I'm saying. There's certain areas around the city when you go there, and it won't work.
I suppose I
could list off a few areas to you, but if I did, it would probably make me sound racist. But there are definitely those areas it doesn't work in. Trust me. A few of them, a couple of the SCs in Birmingham, they don't work there.
Like I say, never
I'm talking about Asian areas, just to clarify.
Don't say Asian areas.
Oh, okay, yeah, I mean like
I'm not
Asian,
into
Pakistani, Indian. They're not always Asian. I mean Pakistani, Indian. Technically, you're right. I shouldn't say Asian.
That did go off just actually. That went off and come back on.
Yeah, see, it does happen.
Whilst I'm down here, on my way down here, a few months back, I met a girl I'm playing fish. She lives in Wolverhampton, but she's from Guyana. So she's like Caribbean.
Like Guyana, is that Africa or
no? Caribbean.
Oh, I figured Ghana.
Yeah. Ghana. But there's a language barrier, and it's my language that's the issue because I speak fast and posh and stokey like, and she can only understand certain things. So we went out.
So she can basically speak English, but we don't speak English anymore.
Yeah, that's kind of it. Because she works at Wolverhampton Hospital. There you go. She can't fit. So she used to come and see me, and I was like, "This isn't going to work because there's no banter. You don't understand me." But pussy was fucking. I love pussy on it. It was absolutely amazing. And she messaged me the other day. So
it's normally somebody comes after the talking part, but
well, this is it. I said, look, it's all about sex here, isn't it? And she says, yeah, it is. And she carried on coming for about 6 months, even without the conversation. And
that was a long time to be coming for. Like, you'd have thought she'd have to get out of the bed in that time. 6 months she was coming for. Wow.
Wow. That's what it is. You get what I mean? She kept coming up from Wolverhampton. Guys, she'd come up from Wolverhampton, take me Miller and Carter for a steak, we'd bang and we'd sleep, and she was mint. And like we'd have it, but every time I spoke to her, her reply would be something like, dickhead, or really, or something like which, and it was the answers didn't match what I was saying, and it was like,
You're like, are you just replying with something?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
But even so, the thingy on it was just amazing.
But it worked.
So yeah,
the thingy on it.
And I'm trying to get back on it whilst I've come down here. So on my way down here, I'm like, what are you doing tonight? I'm coming down to do a podcast, and then I'm coming to you. She hasn't fucking replied, but she rang me at like 11 o'clock the other night. She was like, yeah, I just thought I'd ring. I'm like, this isn't that kind of relationship. We don't ring to chat. It's just a bang.
I was going to say, so it's not a relationship, it's just a banging thing.
Yeah, but we haven't seen each other for about 6 months.
But
we just kind of, like, when I came down to the Hollybush a few weeks ago, do a gig there, and while I was there, I was like, I'll drop her a message just in case. Like, and then since then we've started, she's like, been messaging
why
me.
Wouldn't you?
Straight to, I'm like, when are you coming for a bang? And she's like, I'm not sleeping with you again now, but I'll come and see Charlie. I'm like, that's not the, no, you're not coming to see my kid.
I was going to say, I thought that's what you said, and I was like, what?
Yeah,
that can't be what you said.
I was like, no, that's not the deal.
Why would you be like, I'm not in a relationship with you anymore, but I'll come and see your child.
Like, oh, I miss him, because I've been going to get her up here. I've been like, oh yeah, Charlie said he misses you and stuff. Because she's like,
oh, so she knew the kid before.
Oh, she does know him, yeah, she does know him.
It wasn't just a banging relationship, it was an actual relationship then.
Well, because it was COVID when she was coming up, and like I was having my kid every 2 days, so she was quite a crossover, or she'd be up there.
You were fuck buddies.
Yeah,
that's more.
But she eventually she did want more, and I was just like, I can't give you that.
That's what it was.
She was more plugging for a long-term relationship, but I
said
said from off it wouldn't happen, but she was trying, and then eventually she's like, so do you want a kid? I'm like, no. Not anymore. She's like, do you want another kid? And I was like, no.
That's a big of a jump to go from.
Well, if that's what she wanted, she did want another kid, and I was like, no, thanks.
I feel like I shouldn't take you on this podcast now, because if you want to bang this lady again, she will not enjoy this part.
She will. They love fame, don't they? She'll be like, oh, it's all about me. It's all about me. She'll be fucking mates. You know I'm talking about. You know I'm about you. I'll see you later.
No, she definitely won't love this part.
Definitely. I don't need this. She's on it. And she rang me the other night, and it started off with, I'm not coming, I'm not going to bang it. And then by the end of it, she's like, okay, I might come up in the next couple of days to see Charlie. And I was like, that's not happening. Yeah, you can go see Charlie, then you get introduced.
That's the excuse.
That's
the excuse.
But a few months back, she'd let me borrow a tablet even when we weren't seeing each other, and I'd had it for a couple of months. And she caught a taxi from Wolverhampton to near Alton Towers and she got dolled up to the nine. She came up, looked fit as fuck. She sat in my van. I was like, we're going to do something. She's like, no, I'm getting back in that taxi and going back in the man. I was like, are you joking? She left. She's like, but I can stay in. She's like, she sat there for an hour telling me she's got a boyfriend, but she looked at bollocks. And I was like, why are you doing this? Why would you just sit here for an hour and just do this to me? And I was like, just like, lick your pussy and stuff like this. And she's like, no, James. And she'd be crossing her legs. And she's like, so I've got this boyfriend, blah, blah. And I was like, well, why are you here now? You know, I could have posted you this tablet. Why make a deal of coming up, getting dressed up like this?
Did you get to bang her?
No, that night she stayed for an hour and got back in the taxi. She was fucking cut. She was proving her point.
A lot of us like to think that ladies don't like to put us through pain.
To
make themselves feel better.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, they do.
No, they're brilliant at it. They are good.
They're amazing at it. They're peak.
What does this red light mean on it? It doesn't mean the battery's going to die or anything.
No, the red light should always be on. If it's flashing, it's bad. Is it flashing?
Case, it? No.
That would be the worst thing.
Can I skin up?
Yeah.
Cool,
I'm going to do the same thing when this is almost done in a minute. You know, I'm going to go for a piss because I've been sitting here like this because I need a piss.
Oh, right, so
I told you what happened a few times.
Yeah, so...
Hold on, actually it's not gone yet. I did that completely wrong. I cannot read numbers. Now I've done it.
Sorted. Sweet.
There you go.
So, no games at all. I love a game, you know. Fucking, I do love a game of Scrabble or something like that. Should go get Jenga really, shouldn't I?
No, I don't get Jenga. See, I have, like, whenever I do this podcast, I have, like, random little, like, topics that I note down, that I look at and, like, talk about if they come, if I feel that, if it comes about. It's the first time I've looked at this and thought, what have I got written down there? Because I haven't had to look at that once yet.
Sound?
So that's a good podcast in that case.
Good. What notes are on there?
I'm doing some fucking stupid shit. I saw recently about a man on meth who fought off 15 coppers while masturbating. This was a news story that I read about the other day.
Fair play to him. I like this guy already. I think he sounds like a good man. Although, if he's masturbating, no coppers coming near you while you're like, come on then.
I'm trying to figure that out. Like, that means he fought off 15 coppers one-handed.
Well, yeah.
How much meth did this man take?
Did they fucking shoot him with a taser or anything?
I can't imagine it.
Where was this at?
I think it was America.
That's some good meth.
It's America, they have the best meth. All comes from Hawaii. Dr. Bounty Hunter. People don't realise he's actually the biggest meth dealer in the world.
Dr. Bounty Hunter?
Yep. Biggest meth dealer.
He's dead?
Huh?
He's dead?
No, he's not.
I'm sure. I think he is.
No, his wife died. The big titted lady. Did Doug die too?
I'm fair. Google it.
He might have died.
I'm sure he died that year where everyone was dying, you know.
There was a lot of people dying one year, actually. You're not wrong.
Was it like 2019 or 2018 or something?
Bounty Hunter. Is he dead? I don't see it. Done. Oh wait, no, this is the actual show, isn't it? That's why. Okay, no, yeah, dog. No, what the fuck is it? There you go. Okay, Wayne Dog. No, he's not dead.
You're
He's
sure?
alive and kicking.
Why is it coming up on this one?
Yeah, it's active. 1973 to present.
Well,
he's alive and...
What does that? But that says 2000 and Chapman on May 20th, 2005.
That's the picture.
Is that for the picture?
That's when he still had the sunglasses with the headphones in. That was some sexy sunglasses though.
Must have fucking dreamt it, you know, when you dream up shit.
See, no.
Did his missus die then?
His missus died, the big boobied lady. She
right.
died. It was like a few years ago, I think. Not that long.
I never really got into it, to be fair.
I didn't get into it until I learned that he was the biggest meth dealer in the world.
He's not though, is he?
The biggest meth dealer in the world, yeah.
No, he's not.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. No, but he probably is though.
Why?
That's all he does on his show. He's like running around getting the meth dealers. He can make out that it's for a show and getting the bounties and that. I think he just wants to keep a clean route. He just wants to... They're the people that owe him money, you see.
Don't you reckon someone would have just gone, look, if you fucking don't let us go, I'm going to tell the TV people that you're a fucking dealer.
They don't know. I don't know.
If you fucking know, they're going to know.
I'm assuming. I'm putting the pieces together.
I reckon there's some pretty good Mexican cartels that are quite big, you know. The Chinese move a lot of meth as well.
Mexico and Hawaii, there's a big gap between them. I think we're in the worst Hawaii, actually.
What, you think there's more meth in Hawaii than there is Mexico?
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, I thought you said there's a big gap between Hawaii and...
No, I mean this would like a geographical...
There's meth everywhere, because it's a
gap
laboratory drug, isn't it? So it can be knocked up anywhere. There's meth all over Europe, Hungary, everywhere.
Meth?
Yeah, because it's only methamphetamine, isn't it?
Is that was the thing for Breaking Bad?
Yeah. So it can be made anywhere, and most of the precursors and stuff for it come from China and Eastern Europe anyway.
Opium?
No opium. It's all chemical based.
Yeah, but is that like... Well, I was assumed it would start by like a cheap way of trying to make that kind of shit. When you said Japan, I assumed that's all what you said.
No, because... No.
That was racist.
No, but... China and that are the main producers of the chemical and the precursor, because you have to have this, what is it? A part of it which I found in fucking...
The thing that you see in loads of different things.
Well, either way, they all need these chemicals and stuff, and most of them are produced in places like China, and that way they just produce all kind of shit.
Oh, okay.
But then, because you can order gallons of stuff online to stuff, but then it's all marked and stuff by where it's come from, where it's been delivered to, and that as well. But you can knock a laboratory up anyway, can't you?
Yeah. One of the main things, that's one of the things you love, like, I can't remember what it was, but there's like one of the main things they need from it. You can get from like a certain drug, can't you? Like it's not that, but like an ibuprofen, paracetamol kind of thing. There's something.
Not histamine, fucking.
Antihistamine, something like. No, that's like something you get when you...
No, it's them tablets that It'll come to me eventually, but I know what you're saying.
One of them things, yeah.
Yeah, because that's what we have to do in Breaking Bad, isn't it? When they can't get the chemical, they use these tablets and
Well, they were doing it at first as well. And then
brilliant that series in Breaking Bad.
That's fucking great, man. Yeah,
it's one of my favourites. You watch Narcos?
I haven't watched that.
Oh man,
and the other one,
Narcos.
El Chapo.
El Chapo's alright, but the Narcos Mexico version is probably better than it, because El Chapo, it seems like it's been done on a lesser budget. You see, and a lot of it's mainly subtitles. That is because there isn't no American narration to it like the CIA things.
I'm okay with that too. I like the subtitles.
Yeah, I like the subtitles, but with Narcos, it's like comes from the CIA agents and the DI agents' point of view, as well as cut into the Mexican.
Oh, I like that as well,
Spanish as well. So there's a lot of subtitles, but then there is English speakers over.
I do need something to watch, and that's one that I've heard about a lot. I do like all that stuff as well.
You like Narcos because there's like I think there's like 3 series of the Colombian one and then 3 of the Mexican as well, and there's a lot of it to go at, and I'll watch it, and if I'm in a series I will smash it out, because I don't sleep that well at night time. I don't normally get sleep till about 5 or 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm like that.
So I'll watch stuff, or quite often listen to podcasts and just or stand up comedy and that quite often.
Exactly the same for me.
I'll have it on to go sleep to in a way, because if I don't, I'm just thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm not listening to something, I'm thinking about something, and it's like, for fuck's sake.
You know, one thing I'm happy about that I've gotten to now, I've gotten to a point with my head. Because my head's beautiful, I love my head, but it's also a mash of messy stuff. I've got to the point now where I love that I can go to sleep on a night, and if I don't have something to listen to, my head's going crazy. But generally, thinking about things and coming up with stuff, being creative.
That's a good thing about it.
Yeah.
It is good.
It's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Quite often you'll be creative that often, and you'll have a fucking book full of ideas, and you don't do anything.
Oh yeah, the hardest thing is learning to try and ignore some, because you feel like, oh, that was the best idea ever. Ignore it and go to sleep.
I do always write stuff like that down, and that I think one day when I get big, I'll hopefully pull this book out or whatever and implement it. But fucking hell, I've done so many businesses I've gone to set up and done designs for and stuff like that, and then something else happens the next week or whatever. It's like,
how long have you been doing comedy now for then?
Well, I started writing like 2018, 2019.
Just as the pandemic was coming on.
Just as I was getting, it was before the pandemic.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because I went to Edinburgh Fringe Festival in 2019 with a notepad. Just a notepad. I'd not done any stand-up. Just got my camper van.
I've never been a Fringe, so you're still beating me there.
Well, fucking, just as I was getting divorced, I started writing my divorce stuff down, what was happening in it, because it was funny, some of it was. And then as it was happening,
that's fucking great speech of material.
When this money comes, I'm going to be a comedian. This is it. So as soon as I got the first bit of money, got that camper, I got to Edinburgh Fringe Festival for the last 2 days, and I was like, I'm going to stay here and find a contact with my notepad. And
when is Fringe in here? Just so I know where.
August. All of August.
So that's how bad I don't even know when it is in the fucking year.
It's amazing. It is amazing.
I'm going to get there with it. But
I hung around and watched this group called Pope's Addiction Therapies, and it was all about like ex-drug addicts and stuff like that, and I was like, these are for me. So I went to him, I was like, have a look at this, and if you can get me any kind of gig or whatever. And he's like, yeah, I had a look, and he's like, come to Brighton Fringe Festival with us. I was like, sound, done it.
That's a banging fucking good one to get on straight away.
That's fucking mission accomplished. Come back, and then COVID happened. Everything was cancelled for 2 years or whatever it was, and then the last bit of money that I had that nearly was running out, I was like, right, I'm going to, because I need some stage time and just a bit of tuition. I booked onto the Frog and Bucket course in Manchester, and that started.
Was that like one of those courses that like teach you how to be a stand-up and that?
Yeah, well, basically, it teaches you stagecraft, it teaches you business.
They're not bad. They're good.
Oh, very good.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah,
it gives you that stage time as well, because that's your first hoop jump into. If you
want to try things that are hard to figure out at first as well.
And the teacher was brilliant. He'd worked with Lee Evans and Peter Kay and stuff like that. The club was awesome, and I spent my last bit of money on that. But get this, while I was there, because I was going there, I'd ran out of money. But I'd booked it beforehand, you see, so I knew it was coming, and I was telling people I'm going to be a comedian. I was stalking the comedy clubs to try and start this podcast and that. And then when I was getting there, I had no money, no food. I was going around to restaurants. I'm like, look, I'm going to be a famous comedian. I'm doing this. Give me a meal here. I'll put it on my podcast and stuff. And I was getting meals at these top end restaurants. I was emailing all these, like, just sending a list to these restaurants. And I was like, I'll shout you out in the future and I'll do this. And I was going in back to all these nice restaurants and stuff while I was there. And I was just staying on a multi-story car park all week until the Sunday when it was free parking, so the gate would be up and I didn't have to pay. But yeah, it was brilliant.
That's fucking banging, no?
And then straight after that, while I was doing that, did your gig, did my showcase, and then I got booked onto Van Life Festival to close it in a fucking massive arena. It was mental.
I did see the Van Life thing. I thought something about that, because I rarely go on like Facebook and shit too. So
yeah,
I like never go on. I push it on and run away. That's what I do with Facebook.
But yeah, it's been a good year, a good 6 months really, because I've only been gigging since May really, and I've done a lot of gigs, met a lot of great people, made a lot of headway.
Yeah. I forget the kind of thing that's happened like in the last like even half a year. That is like that's more than half a year.
What happened is during the COVID thing, or just before, my mum died, and of course I was already getting into comedy. I watched stand-up comedy every day for 2 years.
You fucking studied basically.
I did, and that's also the people coming around my house and they were like, "You're not going to get a job. What are you going to do now?" I was like, "This is what I'm doing.
What are you on about?
Fucking
pandemic. Nobody's getting a job right now.
Stand-up literally saved my life."
Yeah.
And there was like, this is what I'm doing, and people 24 hours a day, Kevin Hart, Jim Jeffries, and just to make me smile and enjoy and all the stress and that I was getting material from
it.
You're
thinking about it. You're enjoying the comedy when you're watching it.
I went to while my mum was in hospital, I went to a stand-up club because we told she was coming home. But so I was like, fuck it, went out, got on it, went to a comedy club, OD'd, woke up in the same hospital as my mum, didn't know how I got there. I walked out, I was like, what the fuck's going on here? Has my mum died or something? She's like, no, you were brought here last night by an ambulance. I was like, what the fuck? Looked outside, my camper's there. My mate had followed us up in the camper, didn't know what to fucking where to park. He didn't even know how to put the bed down, so he slept all stuff. And I was like, that's mad. But then my mum never came in. But
that's a beautiful mate, though.
Yeah, well, it is, yeah, but if he smashed my fucking camper, I'd have been fucking fuming because he was hammered, so...
What?
Did you say he was a good mate?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, but fucking... Because he could have got in the ambulance, really. Couldn't see him come up with us.
Yeah, but he bought the camper van.
Well, yeah, but if he just smashed the camper van, it was brand new.
Oh, he smashed it?
Well, no, if he had though, because he was hammered and he was drunk and it was the middle of the night or something, if something had have happened. No, don't get me wrong, it was brilliant to see it because I didn't have a clue how I'd got there. Yeah. And then I just saw on the horizon my van.
I can imagine in that way, you were like, I'm going to get it there, I'm going to get everything there. And then it's there, and it's good.
But yeah, so it's been an interesting journey. So since that happened, I watched stand-up continuously, and I was like, this is happening now, it's got to happen.
Yeah, I kind of felt like the pandemic kind of came when I needed it, like needed a break from life.
It was fucking...
It was serendipitous.
Well, it was... I don't know what that means, but when it happened, I was already quite recluse because I had to move to Kidsgrove to move into my mum's house and that. I was just getting hammered every day, depressed, had loads of money, didn't go out, I had girls coming to me. And so I didn't go out anyway, didn't see any I had no family or whatever, my kid was coming every 2 days, that was it. So nothing changed for all that time for me. Nothing changed because I didn't have...
It seems like you might have needed that time then because you feel good now.
Well, this is it, I definitely needed that time. When I got divorced, I was like, I'm giving up work because I was a sparky before then. I said, I'm giving up work because I want to see my kid through all this time so I won't get it back. So that's what I did. I chose not to work and live off this bit of money hoping I'd make it, just so I can do this thing with my kid. And that's why I do this kitchen job now, because I could go and work, but I don't want to. I like going to school. I like doing the school run. I like going to do this stuff. And not have to, I love spending the time with my kid and I won't get it back. So that's the main reason why...
it's a lovely thing to do as well.
Oh, it's the best, you know. He's an absolute lifesaver. If it weren't for him... But when it was all bad happening, I was in tears and breaking down, and it was just him there to see me. He was like, why are you crying? And I was like, to tell him, you know, it's so difficult because he's autistic as well, so he didn't talk, he didn't understand me.
Oh, yeah.
And he was the only person there, and it was just like, if it wasn't for him. And then I lost him. I lost him one time, like, he'd escaped from my house, and he disappeared. The police had to be called.
I know a few people that got autistic kids, and that's a thing.
But it was like, we walked off his state in a nappy and stuff like that. It was a really bad situation. But yeah, it was...
I can imagine it fucking is.
it's one of those things where I get material out of it because, again, I've jumped out of bed to look for him, pulled on my shorts, my work shorts, which were crotchless more or less because I was on site and stuff. Rang the police have come, I'm sat on the doorstep crying, sat on the sofa crying. The police know me around my area anyway, they know what I used to be like. They were like,
it doesn't sound like a comedy so far.
What is that, sorry?
I said most of it doesn't sound like a comedy bit so far.
But get this, so I'm crying and they're walking around the room going, yeah, we're just trying to get the details. And then after about 5 minutes of me speaking to him, and then they bring my kid back in the car, like, I'm still crying, and then at the corner of my eye, I can see my balls going up and down, but dangling out the bottom of these shorts. Every time I'm crying, my balls are going up and down. The coppers are fucking probably taking pictures. That's what they're walking around there for. They must have been pissing themselves because they were literally just hanging out there all in the crotch. And every time I cried, they were just going up and down. I was like, oh my God. Yeah. So I told you it was funny.
You should put that like after the happiness of finding him, and then you realise this.
That's not how normally I tell the story on stage. I've got to work that bit because fucking that's a bit of material where thinking about it brings tears to me because he could have gone. Someone could have took him.
A
couple did take him away.
Me hearing that then I was laughing at the end, but I was just thinking, I'm assuming it was okay.
A couple did take him into a house. Like, and look, I rang the police and were like, it's okay.
That could be a good, someone took him.
Someone put him into pyjamas and gave him a teddy bear, and he was like, I took him a bottle of wine. Oh my God, it was so. And I was like, it could have been a different story.
I thought you said then I took him a bottle of wine. But as soon as I had a bottle of wine, I was like,
well, they'd sent him back with a dinosaur in their granddaughter's pyjamas and stuff. Oh, but the thing is, the day before, we'd gone on a big walk, and he'd seen this white horse out, and he thought it was the one out of Shrek, and he'd gone to find that horse. He's autistic, he was 4, in his nappy, walked out of the house on his own.
Well, like it could afford that thing anyway.
Walked through this long grass, anything could have happened. It was such a bad time. Because I'd had to kick the front door off my mum's house to get in, you see, and I'd never had it fixed properly. I just wedged it with my toolbox all the time. When I was in the house, because no one was coming to that house, but like fucking, it was unlocked for months, and whenever I just had a stack of toolboxes, and he slipped the rug.
Is this where you were? Oh, okay.
He pulled the rug with the toolboxes on, instead of moving the toolboxes, and it gone like, and it was, it killed me.
Yeah, but at the same time, when you look back after, everything's okay in that though. You look back at the ingenuity of your kids, and you're like,
genius.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what pissed me off though, the police came on, they could smell weed, and I was like, look, my mum's just died, I smoke weed thingy, and they're like, well, we're going to have to get the social services involved. I said, get them down, I need the help. I said, please do phone the social services. Once they realised that I wasn't a bad parent, because they came in and saw how everything was in what the setup was, once they realised that, don't need the social services anymore. But they brought them down to fuck me over, but not brought them down to, when I asked for them and said I need the support, I would love the help, they would have just brought them down to take my fucking kid. I
think any time the police are bringing them down, I think it automatically has that viewer as well. You know what I mean? No matter what they say as well.
And I was like, I smoke weed.
It's a hard thing because it does mean something with that. And that's the one thing I know with like my kid's mum. If she wanted to be a douche, like that's the one thing she could, because she knows that.
If anyone does do that, then it's a bad parent tactic or whatever in my thingy, because especially if they drink or whatever as well, because it's just purely hypocritical. But one day it'll be illegal soon. But are all the people that have suffered and done jail time and stuff for it, if they're going to get the time back? I've lost thousands of pounds and stuff like that. I've done jail time. We're not going to get compensated, are we?
I was going to say, I thought you were saying the opposite then. I thought you was like, we get the time back, we get compensated. Look at America.
It's bullshit, absolute bullshit.
Man, look at America right now. It's been legal over there in most of the states for so long, yet there's still people in those states that were arrested before for life sentences and that. So what the hell, man?
It's fucking...
But then you got, at the same time, you got like that kind of thing. But then as soon as somebody gets arrested in Russia for their bud that they took over there, then they'll get freed very quickly.
You get freed quickly?
Well,
have you ever read Zone 21? What? Have you ever read Zone 21?
I was on about a specific thing then, but what are you on about first?
Oh, a guy that an American that had gone to Russia to work, he found a tiny bit of hash in his pocket, tiny little bit of hash. He was in a slave prison camp for about 3 years or something like this, and he for a tiny little bit. and because he didn't pay a bribe straight away, if they just paid him off straight away, nothing would have happened. But fucking, he spent something. It might have been 7 years in this.
That's not that bad considering some of the stories you hear. But I should have. I should have emphasised that in a different way. If you're somebody who's kind of known a little bit as an American, kind of a celebrity, and then go to Russia and get arrested for the little budget you have, then they will try and get you out quickly.
Yeah, of course.
I don't even know if that's... Did you hear, basically? Do you know how on about the Brittany Grinder person?
The what, sorry?
Do you know who Brittany Grinder is? Or Brittany Griner or Griner, something like that?
No.
She was the female basketballer, the American one who went to Russia and got arrested when she went over there because she had, like, some vape things on her.
T.H.C thing.
T.H.C vape.
In the papers quite recently or something.
Yeah, a few months ago.
I think I did actually, yeah.
She got released recently because they made a trade. And it's one of them that it kind of shows how America and us, obviously, we're the same thing.
You know what, though? If it was a bloke, he'd still be in there.
To be fair, they offered a trade between... They could choose between her or a spy that was doing his thing and had been there for 20 years already.
That's a shit deal.
And they chose her. Do you know why? Because it makes a point about how governments are a slave to their own political correctness nowadays.
Yeah.
She's a she's a lesbian women's sportsman, and they traded to get her out. They traded. I'm not saying they shouldn't have got her out, but they traded the Lord of War for her.
The Lord of War?
The Lord of War!
What, the original one? Have you seen the Lord of War?
The Nicolas Cage film?
Yeah, brilliant film.
Yeah. The guy he was based on?
Yeah.
They traded the Lord of War
for way.
Her. Yep.
Fuck off!
He is now in Russia doing his thing.
What's his name?
I'm not sure.
Nicolas.
It sounded Russian, but he wasn't Russian. I don't think.
Really?
Yeah, really. That has happened recently.
Because I watched Lord of War the other day. I've watched it.
Yeah, it's a great film.
It's a really good film.
Yeah.
And I can't believe that they've swapped someone like that for that. While there's a war going on in Russia as well.
Yeah. Don't know why that would be a bad thing to do. The guy who's got all the all the contacts, all the links, all the routes.
Well, I imagine most of the fucking links and routes are using up at the moment in Russia, though, aren't they? Because that's right, he was having like old Russian stock anyway, wasn't he, and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, anything from anywhere, though.
Yeah, he did have anything.
All the Russian ones might have dried up. He's got them from all over the world.
I imagine it's all coming from all over the world anyway, don't it? There's nothing that gets business going like a fucking war.
Well, yeah, there's wars going on all over the world all the time. Which is why I think it's hilarious that people look at this one in Ukraine and think that that's the only war going on right now. When it's not. We know it's not.
It's because it's the only war fought between white people, that's why.
That's exactly what I was getting to.
Yeah.
It's not even that though. It's not even completely that. It's also because it gives them benefits too, because it's about it being near to... It's NATO. And they don't care about Ukraine, they care about NATO.
It's in Europe as well, we're classed as that kind of thing, where I suppose if we were living in Africa, we'd probably know, it would be common knowledge to us about the war going on in Africa. We'd know more about it. Like, it's just because we don't know about it, it's not our problem. Well, that's what people
that's exactly
think.
Yeah. But then you have to think about why are they choosing
money and stuff like...
No, that's exactly it, but you have to think about as well then, why are they choosing to report on that one? Do you know what I mean? Why are they choosing to make Ukraine the thing?
I think it's more from the Russian side of things. That's what they're trying to make, that's what they're trying to highlight. They're trying to not rush out the game, aren't they? Russia's the biggest problem to the USA. Ukraine is not, they're not bothered about the Ukraine superpower. It's the Russian takeover that they're trying to prevent.
Well, they are bothered about Ukraine. That's the thing. They want Ukraine.
Who do?
NATO. They want Ukraine.
Oh, NATO do. I thought you were about USA. Sorry.
Well, they're NATO.
They're not NATO.
They are.
No, they're not.
They're part of NATO.
No, they're not. They're completely different. They're their own
America's a part of NATO.
It's not.
It is. Yeah, NATO's like England, America. All like there's a certain. Yeah.
It's not. I'm sure it's not, because they're not part of NATO. I watched something about it last night. They're not part of NATO, yet they but yet NATO run on America's back foot. They're still ran by America.
So NATO aren't part of America, but America runs NATO.
Yeah,
so they are American.
Well, but not on thingy. I'm sure that's what they said.
So is America in NATO? I do, because I'm member countries of NATO. Okay, that's a good way it'll give it us. Let's have a look at them all. Okay, America probably. What? Fuck up. Yeah. But yeah.
Well, it is.
What's this? Yeah, but there's all different things of it. What is that? America first. Oh, they are, yeah. But
swear to God, they said they weren't. I'm just gonna have to check my.
No, they are. Yeah, they're like one of the fucking top ones. They're like the leaders, you know. Like NATO, it's just a bunch of different countries that are all like, yeah, they're the most powerful. Well, actually, let me go back. I was about to say they're the most powerful countries. Let me have a look. There's a lot of them that aren't powerful, obviously. It's just like every fucking country. This is what I say. You know, people talk about different with conspiracies and that. They talk about a new world government, an over-encompassing world government, and they're like, that would never happen. What are you talking about? Like, NATO exists. It's just NATO. That's what it is.
What do you mean?
It's a world government, like it is.
Well, it's not though, because not everyone is part of it. The same as like China and Russia, and that's why
30 independent member countries. Do you know how many countries there are in the world?
Shitloads, more than 30.
Have a guess.
About 150.
I think it's actually about 50 something. Let me check to be sure.
What countries in the world?
Yeah. Countries in the world. It's not as big as you think. I was shocked to learn this lady. Oh, what? Okay, this says 195 now and I'm confused.
Yeah.
Because I saw a completely different number before. Member states always taking two. Oh. Okay, fuck knows that I was on about before. Okay, I take that back completely. Okay, there's 192 countries in the world, about 195, sorry. Member states of the United Nations. Oh. The fuck was I looking at before? Okay, yeah. My bad. 195 countries.
Yeah.
So 30 of them in NATO. Okay. But what are the ones that aren't in it? I imagine... I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at the... Wow, it's weird when you look at the actual map of who has which part. And Canada's, like, area is so much bigger than America's. But I say that, though.
Canada's a lot bigger than America, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm saying Canada's a lot bigger than America. It's weird.
It's funny to look at, isn't it?
Yeah.
I like looking at stuff like that, and I always, you know what? If it's always on a quiz, I'm always like, oh, is it Russia or is it Canada or?
Oh, the most. Oh, it's definitely fucking Russia.
The biggest land. The biggest land.
No, this is what I'm looking at. And I'm like, it's fucking crazy. Hold on. That's what I was looking at. So when you look at that one, it's like, it's crazy.
So how many countries are there in the world? Oh, 195 countries.
Oh yeah, there's 195 countries, definitely. It's a fuckload of them. I thought there was only like 50 or some shit.
Yeah,
that's... The fuck was all about? I was badly wrong.
Well, you know.
But still, 30 of them, and I imagine they're like 30 of like the richest ones.
Well, it's not China, and it's not Russia.
Yeah, but they're the bad ones, remember? They're the bad guys.
China due to be the superpower and by
yeah. But the world is a movie.
Pardon?
The world is a movie. Us in America, obviously, we're the good guys. Obviously.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I try and fucking. I very rarely watch the news. Stuff like that. I try and live in my own little world.
That's a much better way to live.
I don't, it's so. Every now and again I look at a newspaper for like material or something if I'm trying to get a bit of up to date.
That's why I watch the news, funny enough.
And but it's cringeworthy watching it sometimes, isn't it? The bullshit they try and fucking preach to you and how one-sided their perspective of things is.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't see it from another side, or they'll just listen and be told that rather than questioning the facts or going.
That was the one beautiful thing. I think that was one beautiful thing. Oh, fucking hell, man. Jesus, wankhole, butthead. Jesus. There we go. I got it away from anything that could be...
drink overboard.
I got it away from anything that could be considered electrical. It's cool. It'd be good. I can let that
light flashing down there now.
What?
I just saw a red light flashing off there. It must have been a reflection off your...
Oh, there's always lights.
Did you play keyboard?
I tried. That's one thing I'm trying to do to get into my act.
Yeah?
Like, I can do it. I can do bits very easily more than anything of, like, I know the root and all that.
Do you know who does play the keyboard and is very good in his act?
Who?
Do you ever watch The Chase?
Yeah.
You know...
Paul Sinner?
Paul Sinner.
Really?
I went and watched him a few weeks ago. He was near me.
Wow.
Does the keyboard... And he puts that in his act, and he's really good at stand-up. You know, he's funny. He is good.
Oh, he seemed to be fucking good when I've seen him doing like little.
He's clever,
things.
Funny as well.
Yeah, that's what we got like the Ricky Gervais kind of stuff. I love Ricky Gervais.
Yeah, I like stuff where you have to think about it and stuff. It's that's one of the things that pisses me off whenever when you're like, do comedy and you're like, tell us a joke. I'm like, you wouldn't understand my humour. I couldn't tell you a joke and you judge me on it, which should. 2 seconds. I mean, one-liners, I forget. You know what I'm saying? You know, my memory's still. I couldn't. You know, it's just like
everyone has that, man. Every comic has that fucking annoyance. So,
sorry.
Every comic has that annoyance. So when somebody learns you're a comic or comedian, yeah, you do just like straight away. Tell me a joke. Do you know what I do every time? Okay, hello. Ask me.
Tell us a joke.
Your penis is really big.
I'm going to punch that, but I'll forget it. When I did that Van Life Festival.
I did that the first time somebody asked me to do it. And, like, the first time somebody said to me, that's just what I did in that moment. Like, that works really well. He didn't even understand the point. His girlfriend had to explain it to him. That was the best part. I always say, like, I think my humour is a bit too intellectual for you. Just try to be like that. I'll be like, I don't think you're my kind of audience, to be fair. Oh, that's the one beautiful thing about going out and doing comedy, though, the audiences that you do come across, like the people and that, like some of the places you walk into as well. You walk in there and you're like, sometimes you walk into a place and you're like, it's gonna be a strange gig. Yeah. As soon as you walk in, I love those gigs personally. They're my favourite. To be honest, that one with them fucking football people, them bad boys at the front of that was one of my favourite gigs for ages. I could bounce off them, and I was bouncing material off them, and then that fucking meat salad woman as well. Like, so I had a lot bit to work with. So it was. They're the ones that really quite good. They give you something like extra from it afterwards, man. It's nothing worse than when people just sit there fucking plain faced at you, and it's just like you've got to be getting no reaction from them, and you're like, oh, that's sometimes. But worst part is with the job, innit? Sometimes they just don't always laugh. Oh yeah. Some of the audience you go to and no one will laugh. It's just a number game. It's not being a slag. It's a number game. You go to many places, they're not into it. Like, I think the worst part is though, like in a way it's not like that though. Is that I thought I was just thinking a second ago when you said it, like you'll do a gig and it's going well. Well, you know, you're getting laughs and stuff, but there's one person in the audience that isn't responding to anything you're saying, anything you're putting down, they're just straight-faced. And they're the person that always draws your attention the most. They're the ones you fixate on. Trust me, if you start talking to them because of that, it doesn't go well. Yeah, you're like, why aren't you laughing? What's wrong with you? I've tried to do it a few times, and it just hasn't gone well any time I've tried to do it. Nothing worse than pulling them up on it, like, you look fucking grumpy, and they're like, that's what I mean. Stroke or something like that. You're disabled and you're like, for fuck's sake, man. Damn, I shouldn't have said that. Like the thing, like when you're asking people to stand up for like the national anthem or something, I know you're standing up for something, and you picture the one who doesn't stand up and everyone sits down and he rolls off in his wheelchair. Like, oh fuck. Didn't Kanye do that? Well, a lot of people do, don't they? Fucking a lot of stand-ups have done it before, haven't they? Oh yeah, but. Up doing the fucking bull gags on fucking chemo patients and stuff like that. That never goes down too well. What? Oh, What?
Saying fucking I'll slap head like no monkey, you know.
Oh, there's a certain level of jokes that we all have to get through and it's not comedy.
That's fucking comedy for you, though, isn't it? You know, you have to
Slap cancer jokes, they're one of them.
You know, if we've got cancer, they probably come for a laugh, and you know that's the kind of thing. You know, if we don't want, if you left him out, then that'd be the worst thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Engage with him for that reason, then that would be worse. You know, so I'd like to think when I'm even worse dying, like fucking, if I was in an audience, a comedian, well, they do anyway. I can't often.
If I went into an audience, a comedy show, and I was missing 2 legs, and I was thinking, I wish I had these 2 legs, I would want them to make a point about me not having 2 legs.
You're like, this is going to make some good material. I'm going to be on.
And just a bit like, you understand? Yeah, you're making fun of it, but he gets it. I wish I had 2 legs, but I'm going to have fun with it.
Keeping your fucking sense of humour, doesn't it, man? You can't let it get you down.
I'm just worried now that I'm going to end up, something's going to happen in like a year, and it'll take my legs. And then I'll be unhappy about it, and then someone will show me this, and I'll be like, you can't be unhappy about it. I'm like, fuck's sake, I wish it upon myself.
If you lost your legs, the fucking robot ones are sick now. Imagine seeing some of them, it's quite an advantage in a way, to be fair. Just a half Robocop, you're like, for fucking brilliant.
I don't know if I'd say an advantage.
Definitely. Have you not seen the Paralympics? I couldn't beat them at them sports, mate.
That's true, actually.
Definitely.
At what point do we have to get to when the Paralympics are just going to be the Robot Olympics?
Well, this is it, isn't it? You know, fucking, or the normal Olympics are being run by the fucking robots. You know.
At what point are we going to have to get to when the whole world is being run by the robots?
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense that will happen eventually. Whether we may be the robots.
What's happening is, we think we're putting them in for our convenience, but at some point there'll be more of their convenience, and like
the robots.
Yeah. At the minute they're for our convenience, but at some point the tables will turn, and it will just be like, I don't know, doesn't affect me. This is my opinion.
AI would affect you if it happened.
Pardon?
AI would affect even you if it happened.
I'll go and live under a fucking bridge in my van, me buddy.
No, in your van, that's got electric. You can't do that.
Doesn't need to start it up.
What?
Get the solar panels.
Oh, okay.
Sun.
Okay.
Little hydro thing in the canal next to us or something, I don't know.
There you go. Yeah.
Mate, you have to adapt
get a
to
boat.
be ready for
In an
it.
apocalyptic world, I'd get a canal boat. If I was in Birmingham, I'd get a canal boat. That's what I'd do.
Yeah, don't go very fast though. You fucking imagine being chased by zombies and you run up a barge. You're not getting away very quick.
I never said a zombie apocalypse.
I just thought all the apocalypses were zombies.
Ken is like, oh, you know what, you're right though, because the boat would work well in. You'd have to do something and get away. You could be. You have to park it by a forest. You can injure it then, get to it, and then get away. But it still wouldn't go quick if they found you though. That's right. That's it. That'd be fine. Just get a thing on the side of your boat that just swings up a blade.
Or put a little fucking speedboat engine on the back of it just in case you do need pegging.
That would work too. Yeah, about 7 of them.
And then just fucking there's no locks.
Yeah. You'd have to get up every now and then and do those things because. Oh, that would be really bad, actually. The things that where you have to pull them up and that.
Yeah, the locks, yeah.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, you have to get off and do a lock key and fucking wind them down and then open the things.
And they're not going to be maintained at all either, so it's going to take a bit longer each time.
Probably, yeah. Fucking well. We can always dream, can't we?
Okay, you know what? No, don't dream. Fuck that. A van's better. Okay, a van's even better in that case too.
Yeah, it is brilliant. I love it, man. I do love it. Sometimes I wish it was a bit bigger, but then I think it's stealthy as it is. I can get in places, there's no height barriers and stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say if it's bigger, then you'd have that issue, yeah.
Yeah, because quite often I would easily drive into a multi-storey car park and take the roof off easily.
Can you drive into it? Or?
Yeah, because mine now just goes into multi-storey car parks, but if I had a high top, I wouldn't be able to go in. I did a gig a few weeks ago, I was in the car park, kipped over the night, put the pop-top roof up, forgot to take it down, drove off and took the fucking lights off the roof in the car park.
Imagine I was a bastard for you.
Oh my fucking! I was more concerned about my van, but it pulled down all the trunking, all the lighting column, all right on the fucking in the line of the fucking road as you go around the multi-storey car park. Oh man, fucking pissed off I was.
I can imagine. For me, that's a funny trickle. for you, that's a couple of £100 at least, I'm assuming.
I drove off, man. I didn't pay.
No, but I mean, just to repair whatever you broke.
What, on my van?
Yeah.
It didn't, no, because the popped off roof, the top of it is carbon fibre, and it was...
So it was okay with the light on the building that broke?
Yeah.
Oh, cool,
It just dragged all the lights off the ceiling of the thing.
Yeah, drive off, yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If it was a high top, I'd have just drove in the fucking thing and took the roof off. You know, when you see buses going on the bridge, I've got no awareness, like, fucking... just stupid sometimes.
There's one bridge that Nath was on about it before, but they called him comedy. Apparently, I still don't believe it. The tunnel or the bridge or something, you know, in Birmingham, in England, that gets the most like bridge crashes a year, because as it goes in, it's a tunnel that as you go through it, it gets thinner, and then the ending bit is less than the opening bit.
Is that by fault or?
No, I don't know. That's just and it tells you when you go in. You know. I don't see how that could be true.
Google it.
I mean, no sense to me. But he's a driver. I don't know.
I don't know, man. Fuck knows. I don't like bridges or tunnels as it is. Like, to be fair, although I quite often think I'm in like you know, the old computer games when you go through a tunnel and it makes your engine sound like because your car always sounds better when you're in a tunnel.
I can honestly say I've never gone through a tunnel in a game and even thought about that.
Well,
but I was also somebody that never cared about cars.
Me too, to be fair. I used to just play maybe...
I'm not manly enough for it. Yeah, GTA.
Well, it is what it is, isn't it? You know, fucking...
No.
What's the definition of manly nowadays? I mean, fucking... I know many manly...
The definition of manly is walking about... What?
I know many manly blokes that get dressed up as women on the weekend, so, you know, there's no definition of manly, I suppose.
That's a very good point, actually.
You can't stereotype manly now.
Well, apparently... Oh, no, you did, though. Because you said the manly people that dress up in a skirt thing.
Yeah, they are manly, but fucking on a Friday, they're not. Or when they get dressed up in the glad rags, but in the week they're fucking at the gym, they're fucking hairy chest, stubbly chin.
That is so true though, yeah. Like the people in the gym as well, like the people that get all big as well, like people think of the most manly, like in that idea of, gonna break you in two. They're the loveliest people you'll ever meet.
It's not a manly thing, it's kind of a...
I can break anyone, so I'm chill.
But it's more of like a looking good thing as well, isn't it?
It's vain, that's all, it's vanity.
Yeah. And like, you know, how girls use makeup or whatever, it's just another way of doing it. Yeah. I do like going to the gym. I should go back every week. I'm telling myself I'm going to join the gym, even if it's just to have a shower there and that.
See, that'll be the one beautiful thing, actually, yeah. That was the one thing I loved about the gym. There's always a shower there for you.
You've got a house, though.
Well, yeah, but I used to not have a shower. I'm a shower man.
Yeah. I'm a bath guy myself. There's no gyms with baths in them. I love a
That'd be a weird thing.
Yeah. I like a bath with a fucking book in a joint and a glass of wine. There's nothing more. I love it, mate. I could sit in the bath for hours.
No, honestly, I've never understood that. I've never been one of them, because like after you've been in like the bath for like not that long, it's cold. It's not warm.
Yeah, but you can just put some more hot water in it.
Yeah, but then it's like, what are we doing?
Chilling.
Yeah, but it's like a shower's better. That would everything you're saying would still be better in a shower. It's just harder to do.
But you can't stand up. You can't have a joint in the shower.
So if
you try to smoke a spliff in the shower, or
no,
read a book in the shower,
trust me.
Or drink a glass of wine in the shower, without your fucking red wine going fucking rosé in like seconds.
I mean, I'd never drink wine because I'm a man.
Well, drink wine or whatever. And I've drank all sorts in the bath. You know, I woke up before and I've drank mead in the bath. Right, get this.
Wow.
I went to this fucking Volkswagen festival thing, right? And this woman's walked up. She's been brewing mead proper monk style. There's 3 litres of it. I took all the surplus home, right? And at about 11 at night, I took a picture of me in the bath with with this glass of mead, going just finishing this mead off. Admin didn't put it through on the wall till 8 in the morning, so everyone sees it at 8 in the morning and being like, "You okay, James? What's going on? If you've got a problem?" Like, I had about fucking 15 messages on my thing saying, "No, you're drinking mead in the bath at 8 in the morning or whatever it is." I was like, fucking hell. It was nice to see that they cared, but I don't know if it's bad that they thought I was that bad.
Was that on Facebook or?
Yeah, on Facebook, yeah, because I'm in like loads of Volkswagen groups and like this.
Okay, got you. I was just thinking it. I was like, does that happen when you put something on Facebook? Because I should check in that case.
No.
I didn't realise you meant the admin for the group.
Yeah.
I'm with you now.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, I got worried then. Whew! It would have explained so much. I think I've got like the main like other groups that I've got on Facebook and that are wrestling ones.
Wrestling?
Yeah, I love my wrestling.
Do you?
Oh, I love my wrestling, man.
You ever been Mexico?
What?
You ever been Mexico?
No.
Oh, man.
Like real wrestling.
That's where wrestling fucking originated, man. I know. Mexican wrestling is fucking mental.
I know. Yeah.
It is awesome.
I do listen to actually like the main Mexican wrestling promoter. He's like one of the main podcasts I listen to weirdly actually.
Who's that?
Conan.
To be honest, I used to love wrestling as a kid. Like when it used to be like the Bushwhacker Twins and Legion of Doom and Macho Man Randy Savage, British Bulldog. Probably a bit before your time, actually.
That was just before my time.
You're probably more of a fucking Kane kind of guy and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I got into it just before the Attitude stuff, like Stone Cold and all that. I got into it like just as Bret Hart was popping up.
Well, he was around with Legion of Doom.
Yeah,
and Randy
Legion of Doom.
you know.
I knew they were them and that. Yeah, but like just as you know, Hulk Hogan wasn't the main guy anymore. You know, but I saw something recently about the British Bulldog, for example. And I don't know if you know, but he was like fucked up all the time.
Oh, massive roid-head, wasn't he?
Not even just that, crackhead more than anything.
Crack,
yeah. The best match he ever did was always, everyone always said it was a match he did with Bret Hart. It was for the Intercontinental European title. I think it might have been in England. And everybody said it was the best match ever. Only because Bret Hart led him through the whole thing, because as soon as they started, the first thing he said as they got into the ring, he was like, "Man, I was cracked up all night." Yeah, he was off his fucking face. I watched an interview with him the other day, and the first time I've actually seen him trying to do an interview while he's cracked up, and it's just, oh my god. Yeah, he was fucked up all the time.
Well, you would be winning with that kind of... And the thing is, fucking a bit of crack, I mean, probably good for wrestling, I suppose, if you just do it at the right time.
Could be the right time if you're about to fall and hit the deck.
No, before you go in the ring.
That would be the right time. I think he did it all the time.
Because quite a lot of it's choreographed anyway, innit, I suppose.
Well, yeah, so you got to make sure the other person doesn't die.
Could die anyway, couldn't you, man?
You could, but if you got somebody taking crack, that'd be a more likely time to die.
Well, what if you're both taking crack?
Would be more fun, definitely.
I think Brett was a bit on the drugs as well, though.
No, Brett's a clean freak.
I don't think he was.
I don't know, yeah. He wasn't taking crack and shit.
Pardon?
Yeah, he
no,
wasn't
maybe
taking crack in that.
But fucking, I imagine.
And I think, like, from listening to wrestlers as well, most of them are taking shit, but the difference between taking shit most of the time and taking shit when you're wrestling.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
It's like, the main thing I wanted to, like, growing up, I always wanted to be a wrestler. And then I started doing the training thing as well at one point. And then realising as I got older, though, if you're going to wrestle, a part of that is letting people drop you on your head. And I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
It's a big part of it. Like Japanese wrestling, it's also huge.
Japanese wrestling's crazy, isn't it?
They're
but
fucking
the thing is,
mental.
You learn to land and fall like that, though, don't you? You know.
You can't learn to land and fall on your head, though.
Of course you can.
No. The actual WWE stuff you can.
Shoulder roll, then you just chuck your chin in and fucking...
Yeah, but these people are stupid again now, though, with the new ones coming up now. They're dumb. Like, honestly, people are literally falling on their head constantly. Like, the new company that's come up, just like rivaling WWE. WWE are doing it too now.
I mean, you get in, you get out, you make your money and fucking retire by your 40, isn't it, I suppose?
Yeah.
Before the fucking head trauma start causing any trouble.
Yeah, I suppose.
You know,
it's just...
Same as boxing though, isn't it, I suppose? Any contact sport like that, fucking way you...
I'm not a fan of boxing.
Aren't you?
No, I love UFC.
I like UFC. What did you watch? Paddy Pimblett fight?
Oh, did I watch his last one? Was that one of the recent ones?
The other day.
Yeah, it was recent, wasn't it?
Loads of controversy.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah, I did. Yeah, he didn't win that. I remember watching it thinking, you didn't win. And then when they held up his hand, I was like, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, I thought
but it wasn't, but at the same time, though, it wasn't close either way. Like, the guy didn't destroy him.
Oh, definitely not. But I think it was way too overconfident for the win.
Yeah. That's all I thought about Paddy Pimblett each time, isn't it? Like, he's only had like 3 fights in the UFC.
And the thing is, his fighting wasn't tidy either, as well. It was some of it was quite wild and stuff, and I think you'd probably know that as well.
Wild can work too, but.
It can, but it doesn't look good when you're supposed to be the man, because you're supposed to be the fucking boy.
Does any of us think that, though?
Pardon?
Do any of us really think that he's the man? I mean, he does, obviously.
You've got to, though. You've got to. Yeah, you've got to. And the thing is, even if you didn't win, you got paid. He got paid, and he makes money for the next fight. And then it's all good or bad.
But if we kind of think he needs to win, though.
Oh yeah, he does.
Like, this is still going to hurt him.
Can you remember what Joshua was like? He was knocking people out all the time. Since coming up against anyone,
Anthony Joshua.
He would lose the fight. He'd lose the first one, and then he had to rematch, and he didn't look that good all of a sudden. And then he'd come back and win or whatever. But
I think he's one of the ones that actually would come back and keep
it going. Do you not know
Anthony
Joshua is? No.
Boxing? I didn't watch boxing.
Yeah.
I know Anthony Joshua. I know who you're on about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The big dude. You do not want, like, the main thing I know of him, though, I know exactly who you're on about, but the thing I've seen him do more than anything is that advert on TV, where, it's Sky TV, and he's like, there's some woman walking in to do a little training session in his boxing ring, and there's a guy there with all the pads on, all the headgear on, you can't see him or anything. She's like, do, and all of a sudden he pulls it off. It's like, Sky VIP!
I don't know if I've seen that.
He does that. He did that.
I've not watched Sky for ages, so I don't think I've seen that.
That's the main thing I thought he was.
The Lynx adverts, where it doesn't look like the top of his body is the same as the bottom of his body when he's doing the advert, like, and he comes out in a towel or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like he's just been superimposed onto it for the thingy.
Definitely. That definitely happens.
Like
the way they do that, have you seen, like, that's like a tiny level of, like, imposing that thing on. Have you seen what, Bruce Willis, that he's sold his likeness to a Russian. He sold his likeness to a Russian advertising company. So he's retired from acting now. He got something, and he's apparently retired from acting now. So to get money, he sold his likeness to a Chinese. I keep saying Chinese. I swear it was a Russian advertising company.
How would you sell a likeness?
Oh, you seen Deepfake? I'll show you it. It's quite cool. Let me find it on here. Like, because it basically you watch this, and the idea is he's just not there. That's the idea of AI, like face technology now. Russia.
Why don't the Chinese or the Russians just rip it off though? I mean, there's loads of fucking pictures of him.
Oh yeah, but
this is one
they're legally allowed to now. Yeah, they're the only ones that are legally allowed to.
This is what I don't get about that. How do you manage something like that?
Well, because if anybody says to him, like, yo, your face is being used by this company, he's like, I haven't let them. Stupid.
What about if people are watching one of his films or something?
Yeah, but he hasn't let them. But if they do it, then he'll just straight away sue them, cease and desist, innit? So they can't do it anymore. This place, for the rest of the time now, can use his face even without him going there and doing anything. He doesn't have to do a single thing, but he will be used in adverts like this one. Where's my finger? Didn't work, did it? Can you see the advert or not? I can't tell what's going on.
It's loading up.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's annoying. Why is it like it's normally better?
Signal's not too good in here. I couldn't open to it took a while to open to
audio vent. You know, it might be because I got something audio on there taking the audio. Yeah. Because I've never seen that before. Okay, well, that though.
Yeah, I take your word for it. Anyway, I mean, I just.
I will look at it after. It's so strange.
It's like these, them pictures that people buy, the DTFs or whatever they call that, digital pictures.
Oh, the NFTs.
Yeah, yeah. I don't get it how people can own that, because I could just screenshot a picture of it on there, print it, fucking do something, put it on my wall. Yeah. I just don't get it.
So basically, it's so weird. But I think the idea is they're like another Bitcoin as well. They're also like a thing you can swap for money. But I think the idea is it's like a piece of art that's like digital. And like you said, yeah, you can just copy it and put it anywhere. But you're the only one legally allowed to do it. So if you see anyone else do it...
I think that's one of those laws that people won't give a fuck about breaking. It's one of those
it's a copyright law. Copyright's one of the biggest laws that are enforced.
I imagine it takes a long time to fucking sue everyone for copyright if everyone did it.
YouTube do it very quickly.
Do
they? Copyright laws, yeah, YouTube. Every single online thing you put anything onto would go crazy with copyright. Yeah. I had a copyright claim on mine not too long ago, and this owns nothing.
I don't understand that, because I've seen things on, say, Spotify where they will talk about a YouTube video.
Mm.
How does that work then?
It's if you use their stuff. It's not about, like, if you talk about it. It's about if you use, like, their thing. Like, if you use, like, somebody else's video, or if you use somebody else's piece of audio.
Oh, right, I see. I'm with you, yeah.
You, like, jump up on their thing saying... I think, so, like, some of the ones that are a lot more anal about it, for example, have people out there, like, looking for their stuff. Like, if you try and, like, use a little bit of, like, a Disney thing in your intro, for example, for your podcast, it will get fucking come up straight away.
Would it?
Yeah, they scan that shit. Most of the big ones, I think I see most of them have, like, their own little algorithms that go in and find them, because they find them. It just comes up, and they can't be going in there looking for it. So it must be like an algorithm thing. They're just going through searching for
they're
them.
fucking looking, pal. They're looking.
They are looking.
They're looking.
They're looking, yeah. But they're looking with a fucking computer code thing. Like, it looks quicker than them. There's some super looking thing going on.
Yeah.
They're looking through something else.
Just looking without using your eyes, innit?
Yeah.
Fucking,
yeah.
We've got something else doing the looking for them.
They got fucking drones going through... Oh yeah, we forgot about that from earlier. Yeah, aliens. From about an hour ago.
Segway.
Do you believe in aliens?
I'd like to, yeah.
Have you seen the things that have come out then? The videos and stuff. Yeah, the Pentagon stuff that was released. I think you were on about them could be like laser things shooting up.
Projections.
Yeah. That's where we got off it.
I'd say it was a more likely theory than aliens, to be fair.
So, like, you're on about like America doing it.
A lot of military do use it, and they obviously test it beforehand. So what they do, it projects things into the sky and it picks up on radar. So there's also
but
go on.
So no, finish what you're saying first.
So the processing, the thing that's the processing and getting to show up on radars and stuff is obviously projecting something on the sky as well, and obviously the rays or whatever are in it, and the way that they can move that kind of projection.
Yeah, they can definitely do it. I know what you mean, that's kind of technology. You can definitely do it, but
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think
these are the ones that the Pentagon have like confirmed.
Do you believe the Pentagon?
What?
Do you believe the Pentagon?
Do I believe the Pentagon?
Would you believe all the stuff that the Pentagon have said in the past?
When I say the Pentagon have confirmed it, the Pentagon have released all these documents confirming that they've been looking at this stuff for like...
because
there's a difference between...
They used to deny that place in the desert and fucking...
Area 51, yeah, but they've confirmed it since Roswell, basically. And before that too. That they've had like a part of the government that every time there's been any kind of UFO thing going on, anytime anyone's reporting that will go out and look at it. No, not covered it up, none of that bullshit. But they just look at it and will report it and then try and figure out, look at every single one, try and figure out from what the evidence they've got, is there any evidence here that proves it to be a UFO. Not saying where it comes from, what it is, but a UFO. You know, something we don't understand this.
The thing is, a UFO, most people think of aliens when they say UFO, but a UFO means unexplained.
Yep.
That's all it means. Doesn't mean aliens.
Unexplained flying object.
Or actually, no. It could be a star.
It's a UAP, they call it now.
What does that stand for?
Unidentified aerial phenomena. Because UFO is now that all of the things in this is UPA is how it's referred to now. So there's probably a new one in government now because we've clocked onto UAP.
I haven't.
You have now.
First time I heard about UAP. Yeah, I've only just getting fucking to grips with UFO, me.
Oh man, have you seen honestly some of the ones that have come out now, and it's come out through independent things, not through the government, but the government just confirmed that we've seen that too. And they've just confirmed that we don't know what it is. That's all they've said. But this has also now been brought into... I had that fucking graffiti guy here not too long ago, and I said the same thing to him. And I was like, oh yeah, had the government confirmed that we've been talking to aliens? I'm like, no. They haven't confirmed that. They just confirmed that these things that have been released, those ones that have been released, there's 3 of them. Yes, we don't know what they are. And since then, there's been these reports come out, because then they were like, if you didn't know, why are you even looking at them? How can you say we didn't know what they were? Because why are you even looking at them?
Even if we did know.
Hence why since then the documents come out. What do you say, sorry?
Even if we did know, they wouldn't tell us.
Oh no. No, they wouldn't, but...
Especially, they wouldn't tell us.
But I think it'd be ridiculous to think that aliens would come down and they would just talk to the people in that building.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Why would that?
Aliens and monsters. Have you seen some of the people walking around? Have you seen some of the people walking around fucking town?
Dude.
Mate, if they're not fucking aliens,
have you felt some of the drugs that are blowing about through town?
Maybe it's the same thing. Maybe aliens,
drugs are aliens.
Drug addicts, same thing. Different universe, different fucking, Maybe that's why people do drugs, because they're already aliens and they need that fucking... They're like, we need something else.
I also love that theory too, that evolution came from us taking psychedelic fucking shrooms and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely. Have you seen that Fantastic Fungi?
No.
Oh, it's on Netflix. It's fucking brilliant, man.
I've not seen that.
Mushrooms are the fucking thing of God, to tell you that. You want to watch that? Oh, that How to Change Your Mind as well. That does the same thing with each episode's about a different drug. And I'm well into shit like that. I've been using it as a bit, and I'm doing drugs for medicinal purposes now. I mean, I've always done drugs, but at least now I can say I'm doing it for medicinal purposes.
That's because from trial and error, because they wouldn't tell us, because it was all illegal. From trial and error, we figured out the ones that work for us for medicinal purposes. That's why.
It's been a known thing for many centuries. Mushrooms have been used in different,
different ceremonies
plans
and,
and stuff like that. People have used mushrooms for forever.
Yeah,
forever.
Yeah.
It's only when the fucking... Normally, the native Mexicans and stuff like that, they've been using mushrooms for centuries, and then they got... criminalised by the Americans, thinking that they were witches and witchcraft and stuff like that. And then it's weird. But
there's a link there as well that I'm forgetting then, because there's something that I heard recently that was exactly that went from the religious stuff to them getting brought into witchcraft and all that thing.
It's unexplained, isn't it? And people don't especially if people can't open their eyes to things, then obviously it's witchcraft, obviously. That's why it is, or they're freaks, or they're weird, or, it's not
back
the case.
then, we have a bit of a better understanding now. Not great. Great.
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah, it's better. Yeah, I suppose. There's no hangings and burning at the stake, I suppose.
Yeah, even better.
It could bring some stuff back, I suppose.
There's a public opinion hanging on the stake. That's very much a thing still.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Sometimes, in a way, it could be worse because you still have to live through it, but with the fucking hanging of the fucking hatred from people, I suppose.
It's very true, actually.
Yeah, man. Oh, well. It's life, innit, I suppose.
You know what, man? I think this is the thing, as a comic, I think it's kind of... It's the worst thing too, but at the same time, like, a lot of the bullshit that you see, a lot of the bullshit you have to hear about, it's more material.
Definitely.
It's just more material.
The way I see it is, people have got it fucking loads worse in different places. You know, people live with a lot worse, and like what we make our own problems, I think, quite often, because a lot of it is, you know, unproblematic stuff, and you know, we just look for shit. Well, I don't personally. I deter from it as much as possible.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
You know,
it's a better way
if you think, like, people say to me, you're not cold living in that van and stuff. I'm like, look, people sleep in doorways every night. People sleep in doorways every night. I mean, sometimes it's just the only difference between me and them is that van. Sometimes I'm starving, sometimes I'm cold, but I've got this. And
most of the people in the houses around you, when you're sleeping there anyway, can't afford to put the heating on.
At the moment, yeah, it's tragic. Absolutely tragic, man. I wouldn't like to be in a house in that position. When I went to the job centre, I was like, look, I'm homeless, I live in this van. They're like, we can help you with housing and you'll get more money. I'm like, but you will create more debts. You will not pay me enough money to pay the rent, let alone the council tax and the electric and stuff like that. And I can't do like, we'll put you in shared housing. I was like, I've got an autistic child. I don't want to be in shared housing.
It wouldn't work.
And you know, I'd rather not. And they were like, so they cut my money, they halved my money because I wouldn't go and get a property and do it that way. And I was like, so because I'm homeless. I was like, I'm homeless, I've got nothing. And they were like, so if they pay me less money even though I was homeless from when I had a house.
You know what you should do though? Ignore this world, I am not saying this. I am in a supported accommodation right now.
Yeah.
Right now, where we are, I am in my supported accommodation right now. That's where we are right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, for example, if the guy was like, oh, I don't mind, my place isn't being destroyed, it's fine. Like yourself would be, you know. If you was in a place, for example, and you got a supported accommodation place, and then the guy was like, oh, I don't care if you're not there and doing all this. You just live in your van and do the other thing. That's just there so you can then get the extra benefits.
I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
I do, but it still wouldn't cover it. It wouldn't cover it though. What? Because the extra benefits still wouldn't. I'd still have to pay council tax and stuff if it wasn't there.
Not if you in supported accommodation. You don't.
Oh, in supported accommodation.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the thing is, it's too much on the grid for me. That now, man. I am van-lifed.
You wouldn't even get any benefits from it anyway, would you? Though, so I was just trying to think there would be a benefit from it, but there's not really any benefits anyway.
No, not at all. I find it hard to stay in houses now. You know, I go out with girls or whatever, and I'll go back to their house, get to bed with them. When they go sleep, I'll get in my van. I'll go sleep on their drive and get in my van all the fucking time.
Is your bed?
Yeah, definitely. I can smoke in there.
Yeah, man.
Everything's in reach. I've got my laptop. I can watch stand up in there because I always have to listen to stuff.
Yeah. Same.
But like fucking, I was in this proper serious relationship. I'd sleep at her house most nights on the drive. Go bed for a bit and then go out. And I'll be there.
People have this idea, man, of perfect company need and all that. The idea of perfect company, just somewhere to lie down and sleep.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
You know what? It's even more efficient when you don't have to walk fucking downstairs or upstairs, go to the toilet, the kitchen. Everything's in reach. Everything is in reach, and it is cool, man. It makes me a bit. Good thing.
You know what I'd totally do though? I know me. I'd make a hole somewhere in the van, like with a kind of funnel thing. They could like slip up and piss into that. And then you would like go out to the outside, you know, like a funnel kind of thing. People afterwards will look at them and be like, "Oh, is it a bit of oil that the car left over?"
Yeah. It's a lot of people do have a direct. Well, quite often their sink will be directly linked out to the bottom, so when
there you go, you can piss in it.
Well, I've got my sink underneath my sink. There's like a 5-gallon barrel or whatever, so that fills up gradually, and then emptied that out if needs to be. But yeah, it's a life, man. We'll just go outside, fucking just open the side door and stick your head out or whatever. It's good, man. It is good. It comes with some fucking ups and downs. Though. Like when it's been cold, like you've got cups full of piss everywhere. Like especially if you've been drinking or whatever, you wake up with like 5 pints of piss there. your sink's overrunning with piss. You're like, oh god.
That's why you need the hole.
Yeah, but the thing is with that hole, you've got an open hole there for coldness.
No, that's why I said you need the shutter. You need a little thing you can clip up and down. You know, like a little door thing. I don't know how you do it, but there's a way. It wouldn't be that hard.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like a cat flap.
Yeah.
Like
I suppose if you had a waste coming directly from your sink, you could tap into that waste pipe and would put like a funnel end on it, so you could just piss into the funnel and it goes straight into that waste pipe.
You can,
You could adapt it, definitely. I mean,
that would be one of the first adaptations I would be thinking about. I'm not going to lie.
Well,
that would be exactly where my mind would go.
I've had no back window for about 6 months.
Yeah, that's shocking. Actually. Yeah, but the 6 months, most of that time it was warm now.
Yeah, it has had. Yeah. But even now, I'm still no closer to getting one, and I have been freezing the past couple of weeks. It's been cold.
You just need to put anything to shove when you go into all the time. Actually, but just shove something against the corners. That's the main thing you need to do.
There's nothing to shove to it from the inside, because basically on the inside there's 2 struts trapped on the inside of the frame, and then there's 2 downward members in between that and the horizontal slatting. So basically, what's keeping that wood there is it being pulled into these struts there. Okay. So there's just 2 struts there, so there isn't really anywhere to wedge anything. Except from if
I just meant just literally keen, like just put like a piece of fabric.
Yeah,
down.
You could.
Even that, just like pushing it in some way, like attaching it so there's no, as long as there's no like, you know, like tape that's like the weatherproof stuff. Wouldn't even that, as long as there's no seam, you know.
I don't mind it cold, man.
You fucking crazy bastard. What are you on about? I don't mind freezing my balls off.
There's people sleeping in doorways out there. If I come sleep in that fucking van with a thingy, you know. I feel like I'm training just for when the shit does kick off. When the world ends, I'm ready for it.
In that situation, I'd be doing the exact same thing, but I would also be thinking, how can I make this even better? Tiny little things.
I think it, don't get me wrong, I do think it. Every night I get in there and I think it. Okay. And you know what? Where the cupboard is on one side, you can actually wedge a pillow up to that thing, but it just falls down eventually.
Yeah.
And the thing is, because it gets that smoky in there as well, it's nice to have the ventilation, because I'm not joking, within half a spliff you can't see.
And that will warm it up too, a bit.
What, the smoke?
Yeah, it would. Well, I don't know, if you've got a full-on hole to the outside right now, no, it probably wouldn't warm it up at all.
I don't think so,
no. I was thinking, like, you know, this room, for example, not so much, but a smaller room. Like,
I don't think smoke's very warm, I mean...
No, but it literally comes from fire, though. It can't be cold.
It's like sitting around a joint though, like this, isn't it? You might as well just use a joint as a beer.
I suppose.
Yeah, whatever, man. Fucking just.
But I'm thinking about it, like, it warms you up a bit having a spliff.
Oh yeah, well that's.
It's not going to warm the room up, no.
And I've got put a pair of gloves on sometimes, like, you know, hot water bottle, sound, or the hat.
Dude, I sleep like that anyway.
That's it. You do in the house. Some people. I went round my grandparents' house the other day, and they're well off. You know, they're well off. They've worked all their lives, got a nice house. Walk in there, both got the hats on, the bob hats on.
Are they older people who used to put it on?
Well, I think they might have been putting it on, but even though I think they're trying to keep it as thingy, they shouldn't have to do that.
They shouldn't have. But a lot of old people are like that though.
Yeah, anyway, they are as well.
Oh, they put it on, an extra layer. And it's fucking true. It's true.
In a way, you shouldn't have to, at the end of your lives, you know, and you're grafted and you think you've cracked it, you think, fucking hell, it's just getting harder. It's not got any easier anyway, is it, I suppose? But
that's why as you get older and older, you allow yourself harder and harder drugs.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's more and more fun as you get older.
I cannot wait to be in that nursing home, getting fucking bed bathed.
Sure,
pushed to that window, fucking hooked up to some T.H.C. fucking drips. I can't wait for it. I don't want it too soon.
No, but at that point, though, you can have like almost all the drugs if you get to 80, and that's checklist of what you can have at certain decades.
I won't be one of those dirty old bastards in a nursing home, me like fucking. Oh yeah. But still have the crack with him, Mark. So you still got the charm and the banter with him, Mark. And you fucking some dirty woman in a nursing home.
Talking about, we're all going to be dead before that.
Well, we can hope, can't we? I suppose, you know.
You can hope.
I mean, probably
you can do that.
Unfortunate and fucking live to 108, you know.
Priests can hope that God will come down.
Each to their own, brother. Each to their own. Definitely.
Yeah, everyone else do reasonable things.
I don't
Priests
judge.
to children.
Well, definitely, yeah. Definitely.
Although I'm not anti-religion, just to
I did
clarify.
actually hear something today that, you know what, it's only the Western world. It's only the Western world where it's actually such a crime for paedophilia. In the majority of the world, it's not such a frowned upon thing, and it's like it's mad in a way because the more of them, like all of Asia and stuff, all that kind of area, it's not as much of a thing. It's just but like everyone would say we're more progressive and stuff like that. But it's like we always expect everywhere else to progress like us, don't we? But you can't expect different countries which don't have the same wealth, education, facilities and stuff to advance at the same tide as that. Like.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Just thinking about things is very true.
And also where lifespan expectation there isn't anywhere near as long.
Oh yeah, but it ain't fucking medieval time when they get like 40 if they're lucky.
Fucking have you seen the desert in Africa? It might as well be medieval time. I bet nothing's changed there in 100 years.
And thinking, to be fair, a lot of people get shot very early too in a lot of other places.
Just fucking yeah. I mean,
that would be weird to imagine. I can't imagine.
Of course it would be, but it's weird to us because we're not aware, isn't it?
Because we're civilised.
Well, that's what they tell us.
We're civilised.
That's what they tell us.
Only 15% of our population believe the world is flat. We're civilised.
How many percent?
15%. Probably less than that, maybe. I don't know. 7% think the world is flat.
Again. If it hasn't been proven, hold on. This is what, because you're getting old now, I've got a chill on my back. It's fucking.
You're just about to say if it hasn't been proven, then talking about the world being flat.
What's that, sorry?
You're just about to say if it hasn't been proven about the world being flat. I swear that's what you're about to say.
Well, to some people's perspective, I mean, have you only seen pictures of the world? Have you gone around it?
I don't have to go around it to know it's not flat.
Really? Or are you just taking someone else's fucking opinion?
Oh, it's not an opinion. I look with my eyes.
What, from the moon?
If I went to the moon and then looked, then yeah, I'm definitely sure it's round. I can't. There's no denying about it then.
But you know what? Even from the moon, right? If you were to look at it, it would look like that because you wouldn't see around it.
Yeah, it's way too close, actually, isn't it?
You wouldn't see around it because if it's a sphere, you'd still only see the face of it because say something like this.
Right, from the moon,
you were to look at it from any distance, like.
Wait, what are we on about? Sorry.
To prove the world is
what's there and what's there?
You're there. Say you're there in the fucking Mars or somewhere where you can see the world.
Okay.
And you were looking at it. It wouldn't look like a sphere, would it? You'd only see it. Like to us the moon looks flat for me, doesn't it? It's round, but it doesn't look sphere. It looks flat.
I went over there and it still looked round, then that's, if I got close to it and went around and did the same thing.
If you went around it, definitely. But
you don't have to do that anyway. The simple thing you could do is like just looking at the coast. When you were if you've ever been to the beach.
I'm not saying I believe the world.
No, I know, but this is the thing though. Like, people talk about those little things, like tiny little bits about it. Like, none of it. No, sorry, I'll get wound up with the flat Earth. I'm sorry.
Well,
I get wound up with it.
Yeah, well, each to their own, brother. It's just what it is.
No, not each to their own. It's about, you can't have an opinion about facts. There's no each to their own on that.
Well,
there's just that.
Who makes the facts? Who makes the facts?
No one. That's why they're facts.
A lot of people see the Bible as a fact.
Well, they're wrong.
Oh, here we go. Who makes the facts though?
Nobody.
And it's opinion of fact, isn't it? A lot of people.
Well, no. Science is probably the best way you can actually quantify it.
Yeah, I agree.
But no.
I think so, but
no, I know what you're saying.
You also can't argue with people's arguments sometimes because there's sometimes reason to it, whether it's stupid reason or not.
You can argue with it; they just won't be happy.
You can debate it and argue with it, of course, but
they just won't be happy to admit whether it's right or wrong.
But one thing is, we only know what we're told. We only look at the pictures that were shown.
I mean, that's a bit.
We are true.
Have you never taught? Yeah, but you work things out for yourself. That's I don't like that opinion because it's like.
What? So how do we know if any pictures that we've even seen of it are real?
Of the Earth?
Of anything?
You
from
don't.
far space. You don't know.
Well,
you don't know, do you?
Yeah, you don't. Of course, no. You don't need to know that. So.
Yeah, but, down these rabbit holes, these conspiracies.
I can understand why people might be stupidly thinking these things.
Yeah, I agree. Some people
that's the best. That's the nicest way I'll put it. I can understand why people might stupidly think these things.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
No, I
don't trouble myself for shit like that. You started the fucking thing. I was just giving you a fucking counter argument, and then you're like, no, it is fucking round. I was like, well, just giving you another side of the argument.
I picked the wrong one to bring up for that.
The people who do believe it, they must have some fucking things in their heads or seen some pictures.
Yeah, it's called schizophrenia.
They might have just seen pictures rather than schizophrenia.
No, it's just like...
Because some very intelligent... Do you know Eddie Bravo?
I swear you were just about to say very intelligent and then you brought up Eddie Bravo.
The jiu-jitsuist?
Yeah, the 10th planet guy.
The what, sorry?
The 10th planet. 10th planet jiu-jitsu.
Well, yeah, but he's a flat earth believer.
Yeah, I know.
But he's a clever guy, isn't he?
I mean, he's an entertaining guy.
If you do jiu-jitsu, you're a wise thinker, man. If you do that BJJ, because it's very wise. You have to... It's
he's smart with his jiu-jitsu stuff, yeah.
But the thing is, it doesn't seem like the kind of guy he's not schizophrenic. He's not a fucking weirdo down the road or something.
No, but when it comes to
he must be hearing something
theories,
from somewhere. Don't get me wrong, Joe Rogan kicks off massive against it. He's like, no, Eddie, it's not fucking true. And he's like...
Yeah, Joe Rogan needs to calm down a bit though sometimes. Although, to be fair, I say that though. If somebody was in front of me arguing flat Earth, I wouldn't get angry about it, but I would still, like I was a second ago. Is how I'd be.
You'd be kicking off.
No, I wouldn't be angry about it. I very rarely get angry. Like, I don't get angry, annoyed, aggressive, and that.
No,
but I would be very passionately disagreeing with it.
Yeah. I like to throw a spanner in the works. I'm always like, what if? What if, though?
So that's why I love doing the conspiracy podcast, because I love the what
It's always what if, though, isn't it? It's always what if, especially when that seed's been planted. It's like...
I think my favourite question about it is why, most of the time with conspiracy stuff. So why do you believe that?
Or where's it come from in the first
Where's it come
place?
from, yeah.
And there's...
some of them are fucking... I agree with some of them. There's some that I understand where they've come from.
Normally, it's fucking Chinese whispers where one thing will be said and it'll adapt from another thing, and then just keep bouncing down the road until it's something completely off this fucking chart. Or again, it could just always start from a simple flip the situation on its head and look at it from a different side, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, yeah, either way, I'm not the fucking person to ask.
No, man, the majority of conspiracies, when you actually look at them, there's legitimate legs to them. More than anything, you understand where they've come from. You understand the logistic in itself.
And the thing is, I heard something yesterday. Someone said, it was something like the difference between conspiracy and theory, or conspiracy and the truth, or something like 6 fucking podcasts or something, or when you just assume a bit of education or something like that, because quite often the conspiracies become theories and it becomes proven to be true in a way, and they've been fucking shot away for so long.
Like sometimes it's like I've heard Russell Brand talk about the 3-month thing where it's like something that's a conspiracy now in the news 3 months later.
Turns out they're right.
Over a pandemic, that was when he came up with it, and it was so fucking true.
That was one of the mates. I mean,
I like that though. It's true. We don't one conspiracy. I think that's why I like the flat Earth kind of stuff like that. There's a few of them that are conspiracies that, to me, came out of nowhere, have no legs of why you think. What do you need?
Nothing actually. I'm going to punch a bit more. Actually, got a little bit of it there, but
you can have the bud I had.
Whatever, I don't mind. I'll smack anything.
No, you can have, like I said, that was the one that came from the backhead lady. Where's that? Wait, where is that one? Is that your one, or is that?
That's your weed. That
oh, okay, yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry, I thought that was your one.
The what one? Sorry.
What?
Which one did you think this was?
The one that the crackhead gave me.
I think this is that one.
Yeah, it was in that case then, yeah. No, I thought that was yours.
No, I've only got a little bit enough for you there. I just managed to get tennis before I come down.
Man, honestly, I was shocked when she gave me that yesterday. She was like, sure, no, not yesterday, a few days ago, because she gave me a big clump. I was like,
That's have her, innit?
I assume she must get like a load of bud. It's not great bud.
Yeah,
that's why you use a little bit
more
big bud.
Smokable, yeah.
But it's like lovely that she gave it me. But I was like, I assume she must get it free with a crack or something. Or I think she's a posse too. And which is also another thing I think should be legal. I think it's ridiculous that it's not.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Like,
I wish it was more like the other side. I wish I could fucking make a business from it, man. That'd be my best job.
OnlyFans? You could actually do a whole thing. There's an OnlyFans, you know.
A full camper thing.
Yeah, I was going to say full camper, different areas each time.
Doing like a fake taxi, but more like a fucking come camping. Shit, I shouldn't give my ideas away. I've been thinking about it, man.
I don't even mean that. I mean just each time. It would probably just be you sitting in an area with a different view in the window, wanking.
I don't know if I looked into that Fab Swingers and just put it out there, so I'm in your area. Do you want me to do this filming?
Yeah. Do a double market thing. So most of the time just be you doing a wank for the guy. Not best say for the guys. It will be guys too. Will be guys and girls. It'll be both.
Yeah.
You're a business. You can't pick and choose.
No, definitely not. And it's fucking. You got to get them ratings as well, ain't you? I suppose.
It's not up to you who watches. You just sit there, watch the order.
I saw this thing the other day. This guy's making money off this thing called Only Feet. Just doing fucking feet pictures. I am into that shit all day long. I've got nothing better to do than take pictures of my feet all day long. I'll send pictures of my feet and sell them.
I thought maybe you was going to become like a member.
No.
Only see those feet.
I don't have disposable funds for pictures of feet, mate.
There's a wrestler woman who recently, like, she was a champion in WWE and that, and she left because she's been doing not OnlyFans, but one just like that. It was fan time.
Fan time.
I don't know if it's more of a thing in America or, but she was doing that, and they were like, you know, like, stop doing that, or we'll have to let you go. And she was like, I'm not going to stop doing that. No, you know how much money I earn.
I love seeing all these fucking teachers and stuff quitting the jobs at the minute.
Yeah, she quit a job. She quit the whole WWE thing to do it.
Yeah, just to go and do that. I'm like, that is brilliant, man.
It's been less than a week since she's left and she's made $500,000.
But one thing that winds me up is like, women have been fighting for years to not be like sexually discriminated. They're not just sex objects, and now everyone's selling themselves as sex objects, and it's like, we are independent women. I'm like, damn right, yeah, good for you. But
yeah, they fought to make the choice.
And
but then the Nazis,
the thing is, but then people get like,
you're on about feminazis.
Quite possibly, I don't know the terminology.
I don't think that's like a legitimate terminology. No, like the people that are like, you know, because most people nowadays, most of the people are feminists.
Well, you've got to be. Yeah. I am.
Yeah.
It's to the fucking. In fact, I want to flip it on its head. I want to be the woman of a relationship used to be. I want to stay at home all day, look after the kids, fucking do nothing, have some money given to me. I'm like, you can go to work, yeah?
Yeah.
You try to be a stay-at-home husband, they don't fucking like it, mate. I do a bit of research about it. I'm like, the fucking moment you're off work for 2 weeks, they're on your back. Or if you lose your job, they're on your fucking back. And I'm like, fucking... It's not... They don't have it, or they're leaving your lists like fucking decorate the house or repoint the fucking brickwork or something. You get no mum's clubs or anything like that.
I think just women who are in tune to a point is like, as soon as they're around their guy for too long, but they just get sick of us. It's like inbuilt to women.
For more than welcome, go out and earn $1 for my liking.
So if you saw like the amount of fucking relationships that fell apart completely as soon as the pandemic struck.
What's that, sorry?
The amount of pandemics that fell apart, the amount of relationships that fell apart as soon as the pandemic hit. Because suddenly all these people in relationships are forced to be around
too much time with each other.
Yeah.
Domestic violence on the rise.
Oh yeah.
To understand
Oh, it's understandable just because you're forced to be.
But flip side as well, it wasn't just men twatting women, it was women twatting men and getting fed up of them and having them out for fucking because they've just been around the house too much.
Well, yeah, it's just understandable in the idea. Like, you can imagine people around each other. It's not going to go well. And in the same way, I understand it because you fucking women are annoying.
Fucking
y'all women, you do things and it just makes you want to go, oh.
But,
yeah, actually women are annoying, to be fair.
100%.
But at the same time, too...
Men are annoying.
Yeah, I was about to say men are annoying to women.
Of course they are.
Or men are annoying to other men that bang men. Yeah. Women are annoying to other women that bang women. And then you've got the guys and women that bang both. And you know what I say to them? You greedy, stop.
I think it's fucking godsend. Get down with it.
No, that's greedy.
Best way be.
Greedy. Pick a lane and stay there.
What?
You can stop in between, but don't go into both lanes at the same time. Leave some for us.
Let people just do what they want.
Yeah, one at a time. Yeah,
no.
Do what you want, one at a time.
Go to swingers clubs and do all of them at the same time.
No. It's like going to a Japanese restaurant where they have all the stuff on the different aisles that come out, and you put on your hands down and just stopping everything while you're figuring out what you want.
What's wrong with that, man? Well, no, because you're tasting them all.
Yeah, exactly. I want to taste this.
Do it then.
I'm waiting, but you got your hands there.
Well, if they're doing it, you can do it.
I'm waiting for it to get to me. My hand's in the way in this metaphor.
Go to a different restaurant.
They're all doing it at different restaurants. They're all doing it.
Be the man with the hands there.
I need to get in front of them, don't I? That's what I need to do. That's what I need to do.
You can't expect it to just come to you.
That's the problem.
If you think they're fucking greedy, you be greedy and take it. Go and fucking do it. You know, you don't have to suck their dick, you know.
I need a dick sucking while I'm sucking a dick. There you go. That was the metaphor.
Just saying, get yourself in them swingers clubs are fucking brilliant.
You know what, man? This is one of the things I'm legitimately at the moment enjoying getting to a point where I'm not just... I'm a recovering slag. That's my thing.
Know it. Getting there myself. Well, I'm not in recovery yet, to be fair, but it's getting that way, but not through my own choice at the minute, to be fair.
You know what I said earlier when I said that the pandemic came like the perfect time for me?
Yeah.
Realising I don't want to be a slag. Realising like the idea of... it's lovely being a slag, but then realising the effect on other people, because you're like...
Not if you tell them though, I'm always straight.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
But they never listen.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought.
You know, the more you tell them you don't want a relationship.
If you're someone that once, it always seemed better to be the kind of person, or worse, to be the kind of person who banged someone once and then ran off. I always thought, no, it's better banging someone and then just, you know, like you're making it honest and making it like a fuck buddy kind of situation. But no, as you said.
And they don't like you having multiple fuck buddies, and that's like...
Well, yeah, but hence what I was always happy about a deconstructed threesome that I did.
What, sorry?
A deconstructed threesome.
How does that work out?
Deconstructed threesome is when you've got two people in close vicinity and both know that you're going to fuck the one and then going to go and then fuck the other.
And they know about it?
They both know at the time. Beforehand and after. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes the honesty is a dicky thing to do still. Because everyone knew. See what I'm saying? Honesty also can be dicky.
Did they make you have a shower before we got to the second one?
Oh, why would you do that? That takes away the fun for me. What are you on about?
Most girls don't like you double dicking.
I'm talking about me. This is the point. No, it's this is the point though. They were both okay with it.
Is this a fantasy or?
No, this happened. This is not a fantasy.
Okay, and she didn't mind you having second dibs on someone else.
I was regularly banging the one and regularly banging the other.
Oh right, okay, I'm with you.
But both were into me.
I thought you meant you just done one there and then went straight to that one straight after that fucking...
Yeah.
And then you...
That's what I'm saying. But I did that. Literally one after another.
Fair dues too, man.
Deconstructed. It's not a good thing, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
you don't want to be letting them know about each other. That's your issue there.
No, that's not... Yeah, but that's...
I was having a different one every day and they'd come around on a weekly rota.
It wouldn't be a deconstructed threesome if it didn't know. Then it would just be banging one and banging the other.
But you know.
Yeah, but then, but it's not a deconstructed threesome.
But it's got no hassle.
No, what?
No hassle to it.
I thought you said no asshole then.
Plenty of arsehole.
Plenty of asshole.
And either way, it's not even any kind of threesome, it's two onesomes.
Well, of course it is. It's not free. That's why it's deconstructed. The only thing that makes it in the slightly...
That's like calling it a deconstructive orgy.
Yeah, if you did that with like 4 people, sure, that's exactly what it is.
Well fair dues, just a good name. Whatever, fair dues. I'm lost.
It's not a threesome at all. How do you say?
Not what door I walked out when they come back to us.
Huh?
I nearly walked in the neighbour's house. I didn't realise which door I was walking out of. So walking back up that ramp, I was like, which fucking door was it?
If you're cold,
take a guess.
if you're cold, man, you should have said I could have gave you something.
Oh, it wasn't. It was cold out there.
Yeah,
so I was out there. I was like, fucking.
Yeah, I didn't realise. This has been fucking 3 hours.
Good.
Yeah, it's good.
I hope we get some good bits out of it.
So
It's been a good one.
Yeah,
Enjoyed it.
man. It's always, I can tell it's always a good one when I've hardly had to look at the things. So like normally I'm looking up like, well not normally, but sometimes.
I'll get this right. Pop my stand-up cherry review and my podcast review.
Oh my fucking god!
Wow, you're my first at everything. Fucking hell. When I'm fucking big time, well, you'll be able to say I put him on the map.
Hopefully I'll be big time too.
Of course, yeah.
Hopefully.
I mean, I just didn't want to say both of us just in case, and then you're like, I'm already big time. You're already big time.
Yeah, of course.
You're my mentor, that's what it is. You just fucking show me the way.
You show me the van life way that works.
That's it, innit, yeah. Fucking, you want to speak to Gerps about coming to Edinburgh with us?
Oh, yeah, I was talking to
We're
Gerps
doing
earlier.
this, we're planning on doing like an hour between us, like fucking splitting an hour between us.
Yeah.
Doing a full month, I think.
What are you going to do? Like
Well... His name is, well, he wants to use the name because we did it.
Go on, let me hear Gerps' think.
It's the
I can
name
imagine Gerps
for
got
it
an
is
idea.
Love is the Answer.
Alright.
Or is Love the Answer, I'm not sure. And I was like, well, and he was like, actually, it might sound a bit gay, we might get a lot of, it's with 2 blokes saying it. And I was like, well, what if people in mind.
You've got to be there before they realise that, don't you?
Well, I was like, well, on the flyers, you'd have to flyer it and stuff, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And it's like, and I was like, well, what if your half of it is love is the answer, and mine is, or is it? Or fucking thingy, and then I was like, I tell you what, come up with...
You have like on the flyer, like you could have like one of you say, like the title up there, if you imagine in the middle, and then you've got the Gerps to the one who's saying it, he's a bit higher, and as he said it, it's in like a colour with a glow behind him, so you know that's him saying this, and then you just there on the other side, and then your colour, and then you know it's you saying that part.
Yeah. Or like a couple together, and then a divorced fella at the bottom living in a van or something, like there's 2 split sides of a court of a thingy. And I'd be like telling a divorce story and the fucking bad side of it. And he was like, and I said, and over the names, I was like, just send me a list of your 5 ideas or 3 ideas, and I'll pick one of it or whatever. Cause like he reapproached me because we mentioned it ages ago, and then he reapproached me about it because it's time to start signing up. And
what's that for? Oh, I think,
for Edinburgh.
Now is that fucking hell? Is that how early you have to do it?
Well, yeah, it's opened up now. Yeah, opens up at the end of November. You can
I need to start doing it if I'm going to do it then.
Well, you can apply for your venue and stuff all the time, but you've got to have a plan for it. You've got to fill in the blanks on the details, I think.
On what?
Well, obviously you have to...
Oh, I don't have to sign up for it yet?
No, but you won't put your name down or something for it. I mean, you can sign up later on whenever you want. You can get there with no finger.
I don't know how any of this shit works. This is a problem.
Well,
Fringe is for one of the things I've not looked at.
It's a brilliant place for all kinds of levels of acts, all kinds. But the thing is,
how did it work though? Putting something on and saying, what do I have to do now then?
You want to put your name down on this. There's 2 or 3 different big names that run most of the nights at most, because basically the city is a full festival. Every building is a venue.
And what, you're putting your names to?
Well, you want to get a room or a venue first, so you want to either go with free venues or you want to pay for one.
Oh, okay.
Say like you could book a theatre out for you, a 400-seat theatre, or you could have a fucking 10-seater room.
And when do they come open and stuff though? Or
we've just opened. Pardon?
Oh, is it just that's what's just open now then?
Yeah, we've just opened the application forms. Well, PBS's, I think it's PBS's, which is like the.
Because I don't want to do it, but literally, I just don't have a clue how it works. Imagine if you're explaining it to a fucking complete noob with that. I have no idea.
Well, me and GURPS haven't. Well, actually, GURPS did put a show on this year.
Yeah, I think GURPS does something before.
And I watched this video and I recognised his venue, so I was like, "Bloody yeah, you've done well, fill that out there." But the venue was shit. It was basically one room with stud walls in the middle. You could hear the other audience next door and stuff like that.
Yeah, but
It
was a whole fucking area full of the kind of thing it's going to take a while to get the good shit in it.
Well, like I said, if you get your venue down, if you apply soon enough and get a decent... But the thing is, if it's your first time going, you don't really know the venue for a start or what other venues are available, because there's some brilliant venues. There's loads of venues that are like caves and underground fucking bunkers and stuff like that.
Shit, okay.
Because a lot of Edinburgh, because it's all built on a hill, there's loads of cellars and bunkers underneath a lot of the buildings.
Awesome.
Most of them are bunkers. It's brilliant, really good. And
I want to take the quiz off to it. That's what I want to do.
A lot of people. There's so much different stuff. So anyway, with these names and that, and then I've sent him a couple because he didn't come back to me with 3. And what did I put? Love it or loathe it, something like that. Just a couple of ones. I was like, that's just some suggestions.
Love it or loathe is good. I like that.
Yeah, I thought that. Just like because. With it being a split show, I think the name should maybe have a split side to it. Maybe.
That's what I was thinking. That would work better for that. Because then it says the same thing. It says the exact same thing, but it puts the other side across better.
And I can't. And me personally, I can't put an act together saying love is the answer because I don't believe it is.
As again, I love GURPS the bits, but he's young.
How old is he?
Like 20.
Is he? You know, he's good GURPS, so I do like GURPS. I mean,
he's a lovely guy, but he's young.
Yeah.
He still feels like love is actually the answer. He actually thinks that still.
Bless him. One day.
Are you sure that? Are you sure I get this?
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, I've been properly. I got divorced in 2019, and I've been loads of different periods in between them. And I love being single, but now I'm like fucking hell. Do I want to be? But every time I get one or whatever, I'm like, nah. After a few weeks, I'm like, nah. It's hard, yeah. I want one that... Well, I'm not going to get into it.
It's hard because once you've been single and and especially the kind of person that wants to do comedy, it's a very weird kind of person. It always is.
Definitely.
And then it's also somebody who likes the idea of moving around, doing different things, not want to be in one place for too long.
Well,
that's always the kind of people that are attracted to it.
I got fucking stung a few months ago. I didn't want a relationship for ages. Got with this Welsh bird, right? And she's like, "Oh, I want one." It was just as I was doing my course. Yeah, that's it.
Wales, there you go.
And it was as I was doing my course in Manchester, and I said, "Look, you don't get in a relationship with me because I'm fucking going to be a comedian. I'm doing this thing. I'm up and down the country. I'm going to be whatever. Don't want a relationship." And then after a while, it was dead good, and. She was like, "No, I want more." And it was while I was in Manchester and I had nothing and I was missing. And I says, "No, go on then, we can be boyfriend and girlfriend, but don't fucking finger." I says, "Look, I'm away through the festivals in the summer and stuff like that." She's like, No, I understand and we're willing to support you, right?" Did that. It was just the beginning of festival season. I went to 3 different VW festivals in a month, and she's like, "No, she don't me." She's like, "No, I can't handle it, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Fucking bitch!" And I fell for it as well. And I told her all along, I didn't want a relationship. The moment I fell for it, 3 weeks later, she's like, "But fucking."
At least it was only 3 weeks. It wasn't enough time to get really invested.
Well, we'd already done probably 4 months before I'd said, "Go on and we'll call it a relationship," because I was like,
"Yeah, but you don't need once you made that decision, that's the time when you're letting your guard down."
Yeah,
but to be fair, as soon as you let your guard down, in that situation, okay.
And I was suckered into it because it was me saying, "Fucking, it doesn't make sense. It's not good. I'm not good to be in a... But to be fair, the day she dumped me by text, I was at a festival and I was in bed with another woman. So.
Oh, so maybe she was right.
At the time, she sent me this text saying, the more you're away, the more I'm losing interest. And I was like, okay, I understand. Because I was in bed with a woman, and then after a while, I was like, fuck, maybe not. Like, and then she's like, and then I was pissed off, and then she blocked me, and I was like, it took me ages getting to sent her a love letter. Real letter.
You sent her a love letter?
Posted it through because she blocked me and everything, and I was just like, I was gutted she cut me off like that, because the thing is, as soon as she dumped me, I tried message. I had a friend on Facebook.
Because you cheated on her and she didn't even know.
Well, the thing is...
Well, she probably knows.
I told her I would in the beginning. I said she couldn't trust me. You know, I said that she didn't want to have a relationship with me. I told her I couldn't. I'm not, you know.
Who was this lady that was okay with that?
She just didn't think it would happen. She thought, nah,
he was
not
too nice.
to me.
Yeah.
Because other than that, I was a nice guy, but I lived my other life because it's material fucking process. I do weird shit.
You're a guy, and
I do, and the thing is, before I got with it, I already had a few like weekly regulars who I'd see 3 different people every week. On a regular, I couldn't just ditch them straight away.
Time. You're going through your slag time.
Oh, I've been going through it for fucking years, man. No.
Well, it takes years anyway.
I just had 10 years out when I was with my wife, but before that I was living in Cavos and stuff like that. Oh my days, it was fire. Oh, fucking heavy days, that, man. But I think that's one of the reasons why I struggle to settle down now, or because it was that good there.
Yeah.
It was the fucking high life, man.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, I mean, just at the age I've got to now, I feel like it's probably easier to settle down. Just the idea of I wouldn't have the energy to be a slag like before. Even now, and this is only like 4 years ago for me when I was like a papa.
Now, though, you know.
Huh?
So you don't need much energy. You just need to be able to talk on the internet. That's my downfall. I'm shit at keyboard warrior. I don't want to type to a load of birds for ages.
I don't like the time.
Hi. Do you want me to or not? If not, I'm not telling you all my life details for you to then just fucking disappear or whatever. I'm like, you fucking... just robots as far as I'm concerned. Some of them, like, you're like... Before you know, you've told them all your fucking details, and then they just disappear, or you're like, oh.
The fucking change in that, like, I was happy about that, and I've been talking about this recently, like, it felt like it for me, but it's kind of not with the time frame, but online dating wasn't the main way of being a slag when I was a slag.
That's the thing. It all came about while I was married. It was dead weird to come out to, and it came... just as I got divorced, so we went into lockdown not long after as well, so it was only online dating.
Well, that probably would have maybe helped.
We did for online dating.
It
was brilliant, man. Fucking... And because I'd not experienced... Well, I'd been towards the end of my marriage. I was jumping around on sites and whatnot. But I always thought everything was a setup. I always thought a sister's a setup, to cancel, whatever. One time, I had a different name on Plenty of Fish, and I went to see this bird, and I was sleeping with this bird. She starts going, Johnny, and I was like, what's Johnny? And my name on the finger was Johnny Depp on the fucking that was my name on there, so she thought I was my name, so she was fucking me. Oh, it was so funny.
I hope to God she didn't actually think you were Johnny Depp, though.
No, Johnny Depp.
Oh,
that's my porn name.
Okay.
She was from Cannock as well, so she didn't have much between the fucking ears, to be fair, I'm not going to lie, so... Get this right, she just moved to Leek from fucking Cannock, and she smokes bud and that, and I got her and I was like, are you having your bud off? She's like, this guy around here, just give me this name, and I was like, that's my cousin, he's not around here. And I was like, Aunt's been my cousin for about 10 years, right? As far as I knew, didn't live anywhere near us. Turns out she'd been getting weed off my cousin, who I didn't even know lived in town, banging me at the same time and getting weed and them do it. And I was like, I got a phone and I was like, what's the name? And it turns out we'd both been doing it. I saw my cousin who she was like, yeah, she says I got a big dick. I was like, she did to me as well, mate. She said mine was bigger as well, but it was a funny scenario. It was a good fucking reunion for me and my cousin.
It's a beautiful thing when you and another dude suddenly realise that you're vagina brothers.
I know it is.
So
kept it in the family, man.
Yeah, man. I've had it happen a few times. One of the weirdest times when I was in work, and the guy I realised it with was about, I don't know, like 30 years older than me.
30 years older?
30 years older than me, and I've realised we were vagina brothers.
Nice.
Because we both fucked the same work slag, basically.
At the same time, like keeping it going, or one after another?
No, we weren't in the room together.
No, I mean...
That'd have been weird.
Was he in a
relationship
you don't know the guy. With her, then broke up with her, then you got...
Oh, no, he wasn't in a relationship.
Simultaneously...
Neither of us were in a relationship with her.
But...
He was married with kids and shit.
Was he?
No, he's old, you know. He had like kids, like a couple of kids.
Was she banging him as well then?
No, at the same time, she did bang him.
Right.
They'd been in the same. There was a banging that had occurred.
Right. Okay. Oh, well, the thing is, women are banging everyone at this age. You know, it's always going to be a.
I think the only reason men get angry about ladies being slags is because it's easier for them than us.
Oh, I do not get angry. I fucking love a good slag, mate.
Some people do, though. Some people do not like a slag.
People don't like the missus being slags.
Well, no.
Like
because the two shouldn't go together.
I've never heard a man complain about a slag unless it's his missus or his ex.
No, what? Okay, no. Most dudes don't complain about slags. Like, actually, you know what? That's not even true. I know some dudes that are not into slags, even though they're single and stuff. They still just are not into slags in the slightest. I know one dude who...
Gay?
No.
Did we get any pussy at all?
I mean, gay people anyway. Like, I'm pretty sure gay people are probably the slaggiest of all. Like, if you're talking about straight people...
Good, aren't they, man?
If you're talking about straight people...
Gay blokes are bigger slags.
Gay blokes are going to be the biggest slags out of, like...
Yeah, definitely, because blokes are the biggest slags anyway, aren't they?
They've got to be.
Yeah, definitely.
How do they get anything done?
Well, this is it, isn't it?
Both sides of the guy. Like, imagine the guy in a relationship. Both sides of the guy. How is anything ever done? Like...
God knows.
I respect any gay person who's in a relationship and they've got a business.
I am trying my best to be gay, mate. I tell you, I've got a boyfriend already. But
oh, yeah, you do? Yeah.
A boyfriend. It's just not sexual. Everything else is perfect relationship.
Well, that's like most marriages after you get to like 40 at last.
But this, man, we can smoke indoors. There's no fucking moaning from anyone. We watch the football. We're fucking brilliant, honestly. I make the fucking food. Yeah, he makes a brew and I'll skin up, and vice versa. Like I say, I'll skin up. He makes a brew.
But the old days of having a circle, that was always like a thing when I was growing up. Every stoner people would have a circle.
Well, you have to when you're growing up, though, especially fucking back in those days as well, because it was more of a fucking... You have to keep on the download, didn't you? It's like fucking...
Well, you still do now.
And you couldn't smoke in your house or whatever, so you have to find someone else's house you can smoke in, or fucking go to the woods or whatever, or find a few people.
Most of the time my mum was fine with it as well.
Oh, mine was. Everyone used to just come on, get sent to school. All the school had been at my house. I had a lineman in from my house at a young age. Fucking, it was busy. Very busy.
I bloomed late, but then it took me a few years to realise the mum didn't care, and then it became that too.
Yeah, man.
One of the best stoner films I think I ever watched was Pineapple Express.
Yeah, it's a good one. I like for a modern one. I do like that.
The what?
For a modern day one, because it's quite a modern era. What about Cheech and Chong? Have you seen any Cheech and Chong?
Be like that was my modern day, like.
Yeah, I mean, but Cheech and Chong was before my birthday, but it was the classic stoner films before Pineapple Express.
I've never really been into them. I've tried.
What, Cheech and Chong?
Yeah.
Up in Smoke. Oh my days, brilliant. Although, to be fair, when I was obsessed with it, I was a lot younger, and I did try and watch one recently, and I was like, it's a bit slapstick or whatever, but I do actually like it.
Now.
But I like it. The fact is, it was an original weed thing, and the guys are still at it as well. The blokes are still fucking at it.
The one is. I don't think the one is. I think only one of them is, isn't he?
Oh, we're supposed to smokers and advertising the weed, though, aren't you, and doing the branding?
I think only one does. I swear one of them isn't, and the other one went to prison for doing it all.
I don't know. I think
the one did go to prison for a bit for doing it.
Probably. But
I I don't know, you might be right. We might be dead. I don't know.
No, I'm sure we were a bit like the fucking Amsterdam festivals. There's still a face on them. I'm sure we're not dead. Cause
I'm probably not dead.
You don't die when you smoke weed. You sounded like one of them then, actually. You sounded like fucking Cheech. That's what it's so stupid. When I watch that, like, fucking, I've rolled up and smoked this fucking joint, it's like this. And I did one myself, and it was just fucking like, it was a fucking pipe, and I had this old woman chugging on it. It had a fucking ounce of resin and an ounce of bush in it. It was fucked.
Oh, yeah. He's Tom. Yeah. No, yeah. I always forget that guy. He's the other one. Cheech. I always forget Cheech is Cheech. I've seen him in other things.
Yeah, he's in quite a lot of films. Like, he does a lot of acting. Like, yeah,
some of Spy Kids. That's what I remember him from.
Probably, yeah. So have you not seen Cheech and Chong then?
I have, like, but he doesn't look like that now. That's not what I remember him looking like.
That's both of them there. Yeah. That other one still looks fucking pretty new.
That's the one I was on about. He went to prison and shit. Like,
yeah, he did go to prison.
He's the one that still does it all. And I don't know how much he like really does it, or does he not do it not as much as him then? Because he's like proper like pushing it all the time.
This guy's gone more actor though, hasn't he? He's been in loads of films. Like,
that makes more sense.
When you get that brand thingy for it, you'll always get called back for festivals and stuff, don't you?
Well, yeah.
They're like infamous in there. Their faces all. They've been Amsterdam.
No.
Fuck, mate, you won't go there.
I know.
Oh, man.
No, I've never had a chance.
It's a fucking experience, that place, to tell you. It is an experience.
One day I will. One day I'll get to do all those things.
To be honest, like, I imagine not too far in the future, it'll be pretty similar to here.
Yeah.
As soon as the weed and the prostitution gets legalised or whatever, just red light districts
you can get that
already.
Anyway.
Yeah, of course you can, yeah.
I'm not going to lie, one of the main things I like the idea of going to Amsterdam for is I like history and I like arty stuff. I would like to go around and look at those things.
There is art and history there.
Yeah.
Have you done it here?
Very old country. What?
Looked at the art and history here.
Look at the history, not the art. The art's pretty shit.
The art's all been pinched from somewhere else anyway.
Yeah, there's not much art from here. I'm not a big fan of art, but I like some of that stuff. But history, I'm a big fan of in general.
Frank Museum's pretty good, man. It's good there.
That does not sound like that entertaining of a place.
Well, if you like museums and history, what fucking more do you want? That's one of the biggest history stories in the world. The girl who was in the loft hiding from the Jews during the fucking thing. Yeah. It's good, mate.
Like Justin Bieber said.
It's good when you're on mushrooms.
I hope she's a believer. Like Justin Bieber said. That's all I think when I think of Anne Frank.
Well, I'm sure she would be.
She would be a believer.
And the thing is, you can do magic mushrooms and walk around in there. It's fucking brilliant, mate.
Oh, in that case, of course.
It is awesome. Anne Frank is talking to you because you have these headsets on and they do the voiceovers of the people in the rooms and whatnot. It's fucking, there's like the statues and stuff of it. It's brilliant, man.
How did that ever become a situation?
What? Which part of it?
All of it.
What? The girl being trapped in the loft or me being on mushrooms in there?
No, not Anne Frank in a loft. I know that part. I know that part. You in mushrooms in Anne Frank's museum.
Everyone does mushrooms in Anne Frank's museum. The fucking mushroom shop's right next to it.
Oh, is that in Amsterdam?
Yeah. Anne Frank museum's in Amsterdam. Yeah.
That's what I'm missing. Okay, that's the part I'm missing.
Fucking history buff over there. Fucking
history buff.
Yeah, man.
I would love to know so much more about history than I do know.
You know what? I think that's something that happens as you start getting older. Because I've over the past few years thought that as well. Because you start paying more attention to things that. Well, the world is a bigger place that you start opening your eyes more as well, don't you? And it's if you want to. It's good, like it is. I like the Aztec history and stuff like that.
History is just endlessly fascinating anyway, because people are endlessly fascinating, and history is just an endless book of fascinating things.
The only thing about history is you can't change any of it, and it's like you could say anything onto history. In fact, a lot of it does say anything. And
I was going to say you can change history. You can change it.
We only know what's in the books, and them books are only written by certain people with certain fucking agendas.
Yeah. History is written by the winners.
Exactly. Not many people had fucking books to write.
No.
In the first place. Not many people had publishers. They didn't just publish anything.
I don't think the Bible was published. I don't know. Actually, I think the Bible. I don't know.
Huh?
I was just wondering. I was about to say I don't think the Bible was published.
Probably
but then
the
I'm thinking,
book in the world, isn't it?
At the same time, yeah, like I bet publishers been around for fucking so much longer than I think. Actually,
I bet they're the fucking daddies of publishing. The people who've got the copyright on the Bible.
Oh, the Bible definitely got to be the most published book, though. Yeah, surely.
Maybe
it's Kama Sutra.
No, it's not. Although the thing is, you would maybe think so, because you would maybe perhaps think that the Bible isn't a popular thing in places like India, where India's got a fucking population of millions of people who have probably all got the Kama Sutra.
I think there's a lot of Christians there too.
I think
there's a lot of Christians there at this point, to be honest. I mean, think about like most of like India and stuff, like, you know, like in history and shit, you had like fucking, it was like British owned, weren't it, most of the time?
Yeah,
so I imagine that shit must have seeped in.
Yeah, probably.
Although, yeah,
but I don't think it's a Kama Sutra. That's the point I was getting at, probably.
The Kama Sutra is not a. I mean, that's just a load of sex positions.
I know, yeah, but I'm just saying that I don't think it's the most published book.
No, it's definitely. Yeah, I'll agree with you on that.
It's a Kama Sutra.
No, I definitely agree with you.
I know what Kama Sutra book is. It's my fucking bedtime read most nights.
Nah, it's legitimately for me like bedtime kind of like listening to stuff like you said. For me, it's more like listening to history and shit and that.
I like the fucking podcast for that. Like I do like the Joe Rogan podcast, one of my favourites, for the people he has on there and stuff like that.
Yeah, but you know what, the Graham Hancock stuff and that, I was kind of taken in by that, and I watched all of his new series, and the whole time I was watching it, I was like, I liked the stuff he was getting on at, but I was like, none of the stuff you're showing us work with what you're saying. Have you seen that on him, Graham Hancock?
I've seen him on Joe Rogan's podcast a few times. Him and is it Bob Lazar or something? Bob
Lazar's great.
They both do.
I love that one.
And someone Carlson maybe.
Brandon Carlson.
Yeah, they've quite often we've done a triple one, or they've got someone got opposing opinions to the two of them.
That skeptic guy.
Don't know.
Michael Sham or something.
Yeah.
He was like a skeptic.
But I put that stuff on to go to sleep to as well. It's good to think about it. It's good to think about it, and like it's not too late. And they're quite chill people because they're getting on a bit. And
when they're actually having a discussion as well, they're the best things to listen to get interested in something.
Yeah. Do you like Brett Weinstein?
I haven't listened to. I know who you mean. He's
They got removed from YouTube.
Did he?
Yeah, for
misinformation.
Well, because. One of Brett Weinstein's brother or his
Harvey.
They're like not Harvey. They're like scientists and they're proper high in the game. And one of them was disproving this point of like the taint in the human being, which is done for testing in laboratories, right? They use mice because they've got a similar taint to human beings. The taint is like the back end tail thing of them.
Okay.
And they use mice because of that similarity. But over the years, because there's been that much breeding and stuff, that taint has changed. But nobody's ever retested it over the years. So for years, all these tests have been given.
The mice ones have changed.
Pardon?
The mice taints have changed.
Yeah, the mice taints have started to change because of the crossbreeding and all the testing doing on them over time. But nobody retested that test on the mice. So
can't change that much.
It did, and
the DNA though.
Not the DNA, but the length of the taint thing, right? And this was what was giving them the same results as what you'd get with a human. But because this had all changed, all the results that had been tested from this change in the mice had all been false results, and had not been right. And his brother exposed that, and then he put it on his podcast, and then they took it down on two things, which they're both on Joe Rogan's things, and they're both well interesting. Seriously, they're for intellectual podcasts.
How long ago was that then? That happened.
They got took off like beginning of COVID time because they were quite big speakers on that as well, and but they could go on the Rogan show and tell him about why they've been taken off and stuff because
that's an interesting thing. Like
it's really good. Like in
the most interesting thing about that is why would the size of the tape make a difference?
It was because the similarity to the human one, and that's what gives the same kind of results from what you get.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, but
and I imagine the taint is probably something where most of your DNA is probably stored.
The DNA ain't gonna change. That ain't gonna change from a couple of like 100 years.
Listen to it and find out because I don't.
That's what I'm saying. So there must be something else from the taint.
It was a massive thing, and then when he'd exposed it, and no one, and it was a massive thing basically, but. Yeah, really good podcast. And if you for stuff to like for learning, because I like to learn when I'm going to sleep or whatever. I think what is better to do when you're sleeping. I think if you can learn when you're sleeping, it's pretty good.
It does actually work as well.
Definitely, of course it does.
Yeah, there's the whole thing.
Definitely. 100%. I mean, I watch stand-up comedy pretty much every night, and I think it'll sink in eventually. It's sinking in.
So I just realised I got 2 Lucasades open.
You're fucking ILG, brother.
Oh yeah, I'm fucking mental, man.
I've enjoyed this. It's been it fucking cost me 20 fucking quid. Fuel prices at the minute, 20 quid I put in get here.
Fucking hell.
Man, and we're gonna put more to get in, like back, but thingy.
Where are you going back to?
Leak.
What?
Leak. I won't go till the morning, but
that's what I was gonna say. Like you can just use it if it's easier.
What's that? Sorry.
I was gonna say you can just stay out there, like you find.
I'm gonna stay there, but I'm supposed to be in work tomorrow, like fucking 10:30 or something. But it's kicked off at work this week. I've made a big issue or something.
What?
Don't know what I'm going to on camera.
Yeah.
I could do that, but fucking I just stood up for my rights and I made a fucking stink about it, about this overpowering woman who thinks she's fucking thingy. And the reason I take this job is because I don't want any fucking mither and it's a fucking no thing. But you know, sometimes there's just cunts who just want to just watch you every single minute, like for some reason, and pick up at everything. And then she fucked up massively in front of me and I pulled her on all this.
To what? Sorry, I didn't hear one of the words you said. Fucked up or something.
So she's been winding me up for weeks by picking up. Basically, I started this job, right, and then within a couple of days...
And we're like 3 hours in at this point, so
basically, started this job at the pub. So I've gone for pot washing, and I could do everything else just because it's a basic, simple thing, right? And been trained on one day for a piece of piss, there's nothing to it, right? First couple of days, everyone eats around you in the kitchen, in front of house community, in the kitchen, everyone's on the phones or whatever. And then, after about a week or two, there's 2 fucking signs right up in front of me, right in the area of 2 meters, saying strictly no eating in the pot wash area and phones must be put in phone jail when on shift. And I was like, you're taking the fucking piss. Me on my phone and not going back to fucking jail, pal. I thought, because I'm in the pot wash, I always take my phone out of my pocket and put it on the rack behind me in the cup holder. So it's just there. Rarely use it. There's no phone signal or whatever. If I've got nothing on, I'll fucking maybe text a mate or whatever. But very rarely, because I'm always busy. And the thing is, everyone else is always on their phones, always eating around the kitchen. It just seemed like it was only that one zone. And that was the only one. It's the only zone there that's only manned by one person as well. So everyone else, she's like, so this one feel like, if you want something to eat, you have to go and sit down outside there for 10 minutes and whatever, we'll knock off a thing. And I'm like, what, so I can't put dishes through a dishwasher and eat a bacon sandwich or whatever. And it's like, you think the cake bowls aren't coming through here and I'm taking the cake stuff out the spoons or whatever? You think I can see food go past me and not eat it? But I didn't really say anything. I just grinned and bared it, right? And then fucking, it pissed me off because then the other day I'm like, look, I'm going to have to go early because I've got to go to my children's play. Said it to someone else. She came back, she's like, just so you know, if this happens again, you won't be able to go to, just leave like that. I'm like, look, if my kid comes fucking first, that's why I take this job. And the thing is, if I stay over quite a bit, and the thing is, when it's quiet, I leave early for their thingy anyway. It suits them if I leave early. So she's just sticking her nose in. Just didn't say anything. And then something else happened, and then the other day she walked through the kitchen and she said to some of the girls, "Them fucking kids," something about the kids are retards outside and the thingy. And they were disabled, but fucking my little one's autistic. And I've looked at her and walked past, I didn't really say anything, but she's like, "Oh, I shouldn't really say that." But I'm like, "Got you, bitch." And I'm like, "What am I going to..." I didn't really say anything. And then I've left that night. I should have finished at 4, finished at 15:15, right? On the deputy thing, there's that thing. There's a girl had put on for a swap. If I asked if I wanted to swap an evening shift sometime, I'd messaged her back saying, "Oh, I don't do evenings. I've seen my little in the evening." The manager had been on shift to him, and she messaged her straight on there. She's like, "Excuse me, James. Sorry to be a pain, but who did you ask if you could leave early till today?" I was like, "I was supposed to finish at 4. Didn't leave till 20 past. It's okay. I'll forgive you." And she's like, "Also, when you took the food waste bin out, you left a trail of chips out." And I was like, "Yeah, you know why? Because fucking no one had put the bins back. There was already a stack of fucking bin bags there. The spotlight for the fucking lighting doesn't work. Something did fall out in the bin. I scooped the rest of it up with my hand, left a tiny little bit. She didn't need to say fuck all. I was fuming." And then come to go to work fucking a couple of days after, and I was like, no, it was the next day. And I didn't feel like going to work anyway. And I was like, I'm not having this, because if I carry on with this, I'm just giving in. And I was like, I've got her here if I don't mention this retard thing as well. Oh, but get this right. On that day with the retards things, she's also walked directly past the fucking thing, took a chip out of the chip bowl, gone, "Oh, too cold, not worth the sins." She's moaning I can't eat. She's stood at the bar on her phone. She also wears an iWatch, so all the things are going through. And also, for every other position is multi-manned, where so someone can sit out and I've just done this, I'm fucking having this. So I sent a message saying I'm not coming in, a fucking final straw, whatever. But, and then it's like, that's not good form or something. Could have at least worked tonight. So I was like, to be honest, I was hoping to resolve the matter, but if you're going to be like that, I'm going to seek legal advice. Your fucking manager was calling disabled kids retards yesterday, and I said, not only that, she's been fucking picking at me for weeks now. I'm not fucking... I was like, no chance. I said, I'm not joking. I says, so I've got to go over for this meeting and stuff, and like, he's like, she's not in tomorrow, come in, do a shift, and we'll have this meeting. And I'm like, so... I can't really be going in fucking late. That's what I was getting to. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not having it. I said, look, I have not got a girlfriend and I do this job for a reason. I don't want some bitch watching what I've... And then not only that, like, fucking, she pulled me up on hours... Because I'd only done 4 hours instead of 5 the other day. I shouldn't have been for a meal. I was like, but what happens if I do my 3 hours when it's my break and then after that it goes dead and then I still leave? I was like, but the thing is... conditions of the job, I told the guy the food is the main reason I'm taking the fucking job. You know, that's what I'm coming for. I love the free food. It's a big act, because for me it's a meal a day as well. It's sound. And she's just chipped a fucking way in, and I'm like, I'm not having it. I'm not fucking having it. And
during that, I went through 3 frames of mind. Well, no, two main things that made me chuckle. Good, the first one that especially made me chuckle was, I don't know if you noticed, at one point I started laughing when you were talking.
Probably.
And I think you mentioned something about your kid, and I realised what you were saying at that time. It's because I was looking here for a second when you were talking, and you'd moved your hat so I couldn't see anything, and it was just, I could just see your head like you got it now, actually. And you were looking to the side in that moment. I looked at you and I was like, you really look like that dwarf from Game of Thrones.
You know what? Someone said I look like someone from Game of Thrones. Are they not a dwarf though? Is he a hot dwarf though? Actually, it wasn't Game of Thrones, actually. I don't think it wasn't Game of Thrones, it was Stranger Things, actually. Although, did I get a thing as well? Dwarf, cheers, mate.
We don't know, he's got a normal head.
It's a camera, that's what it is. Don't put that on there.
He's got a normal head.
It's his hat as well, it's tight. His hat is tight.
Yeah, that's it, definitely. So I went for that.
You give me a fucking complex now. Cut the old thing, don't want it, do it again.
And then the other part of it, I was thinking... As you kept ranting about work, I was thinking, ironically, considering at the end, which is what made me laugh, and you were like, but I don't like having a, what is it, like the overpowering woman thing. And I was thinking, Oh, I don't miss this in a relationship. Someone just coming back and just ranting about their work day.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I'm glad though. I'm glad I've managed to get my point. This is what I like about these kind of things.
I could just see it spewing out you there, man. It was spewing out you.
I'm fuming. I am fucking. It's kept me up at night. I'm not joking. And then fucking, because it's such a small place, like she just said something to people in there, and everyone will be like, "Oh, he's moaned about a coin or a retard or whatever." My opening line in a gig was fucking about someone had scratched retard on the ice on my window, and it took me ages to lick it off. I was like, fucking hell. It's like,
what's a bit different than a work situation?
I was going to say, I'm not a fucking manager.
Yeah.
I'm not a manager picking at some fucker else all day long.
I mean, most comedians are wary about saying the word retard.
Yeah, I always say it in good
I'm
context.
wary every time I say it, to be honest with you.
Normally, I say it referring to me. I'm always like fucking thinking, but you know.
I say it like that most times, just repeating it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
It's all in context, isn't it, at the end of the day?
No, just the word in general.
Yeah.
It's a scientific word.
Yeah, but it just changed it, and then everyone has to change
changed
it.
now, exactly, yeah.
So everyone has to change like the book does.
Yeah. The actual word itself, there's nothing wrong with that word. It's just been made to be something else now. Like, there's certain words that I completely like, yeah, you probably just shouldn't say them. There's certain words, well, there's not one. And we all know what one it is.
There's loads of words that are worse than that word, though, aren't there, that you'd have thought fucking would be outlined before the word retard.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing. There was words before that.
Yeah, but there's many, isn't there? There's loads.
Other than that one, like the N-word. And I feel like such a bitch even saying that phrase, the something word.
What N-word?
For black people.
Don't know what you're on about.
And no, you don't know. No.
Nice?
Huh?
Nice?
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 Nice.
Nice?
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what you're on about, mate. No.
Nicety, I think, is the full pronunciation.
Dead spot.
Have you seen that on South Park? When
yes, it happened 20 years ago, probably.
Oh,
to be fair.
It's fucking great. South Park.
I used to enjoy it as a kid because that was one of the only things that I got on the internet, and I used to have a soundtrack to Kenny, someone's bitch is the biggest bitch is the biggest bitch in the world.
Oh, that was like over 20 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, man.
That was a film.
School, like fucking on the lads just used to be able to get up on the slow dial of internet.
That like.
But other than that, I never had Sky as a kid growing up, so I don't think that's watch it.
I watched it in bits and dabs. The internet had came about, so I never watched it that much when I was younger. To be fair, I'd watch little bits when I did have it, but I think I got into it more as I got older because I love Simpsons. Simpsons was the one I loved.
Yeah, I used to love Simpsons. Every day I'd watch the Simpsons.
Fucking but then South Park after a certain point just got better.
Yeah, it's more adulty, I suppose. Well, like Family Guy.
Yeah, but it's just the stuff it does though. It's more on the nose, it's more risque. They went with the times too. Like Family Guy was great for a bit, but then it went shit.
Did you see that one that Bill Burr's the fucking voiceover for?
Oh, the one he does.
Is it Family Man or something like that?
F is for Family.
Pardon?
F is for Family.
F is for Family. Yeah. I mean, I try to get back because I love Bill Burr.
Yeah, I love Bill Burr. I love anti-comedy.
So I thought I'd just watch a bit of it. I mean, I probably haven't given it as much as a chance as I should do, to be fair, but...
What, of F is for Family?
Yeah, I couldn't get into it, to be fair.
I can't get into any of those things. South Park is the only animated show I can get into now.
Yeah.
Because it's smart, like...
The thing is, I've had a kid, right, so to me animated shows are cartoons for kids now, like fucking... When you've had a kid, well, you've got a kid as well, like, because you watch so many cartoons with kids.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and then at one point you're like, I'm going to try a risky cartoon with him, like The Simpsons. Like, you've got like, you're going to try him on The Simpsons to try and get him off for shit. Like, you're going to just test him on The Simpsons and stuff like that. Then just drop him into harder stuff as you get a little bit older.
How old is yours now?
He's 6.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you're at that kind of age when he will be into him more.
Not really. It's not fucking... Well, to be fair... It's hard to judge. If you were to put it on, he'd sit there and watch it, and then he'd repeat everything that was in it. Though, like he'd be like, he'd repeat it all. But
both of mine were into.
How old's yours?
I was about to say it's surprising in that case thing because my oldest one, for example, there's only like 3 years between them. My oldest one has just started this year secondary school.
So it's like 12 or something.
Yeah, no, 11.
11.
Yeah. So they old.
Pardon?
He old.
We're old, yeah, well.
Motherfucker old. He's like an old man.
That's what happens down this neck of the woods, isn't it, I suppose?
Oh, yeah.
City life, City life.
Oh, yeah, I had kids when I was, I think it was 20
Don't
or 21.
get me wrong, I got fucking pregnant when we were 16 in this period.
Dude, how did you get pregnant? That's amazing. How big was her dick?
I take it, my responsibility. I felt that I had to go to the abortion clinic with her.
How crazy is it in America now? That's not even a thing now.
What?
That was that Roe versus Wade thing that was done. It's not a federal right anymore for abortions in America.
Is that just certain states though?
Any state basically now can, if they want to, make abortion illegal, and a lot of them have. Like, you know, a lot of them are like those right wing ones. You know,
Yeah.
Is it that or is it left wing? Whichever is the bad one. Or is one bad and not? I get confused with that.
Me too as well, to be fair.
I think it's stupid either way. Why are you going to either side? That makes no sense.
It's like Labour and Conservative.
Yeah, it's all dumb.
I don't get involved.
There's no point. It's all the same thing. It's just, you want to have this version of people that don't care or that version of people that don't care.
And the thing is, there's always going to be a group of people that aren't happy. There's always going to be some fucking moaning about something.
Well, nobody's ever happy. It's human nature.
That's it. It doesn't matter how good you've got it, either fucking...
Human nature to want more.
Well, not me. I am happy. Fucking in my
You
own
still
little
want
pod.
to... You want more? Of course you do.
I want fucking more comedy fame. That's all
There
I
you
want.
go.
But that's just so I can
You
talk
want more?
shit. But you know what? Even if I made it big, I'd still fucking live in my camper.
Oh yeah, but you'd get a bigger or a different kind of camper van.
Camper,
Yeah, you do something to it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of these different ones for every different time of the day. Some of them that are like one of those giant 18-wheelers. Like, it's a camper van. It's just a camper van mansion.
The thing is, I would love to not ever get rid of it because it's got so much character and stories to it. But fucking, I hope one day I can auction it off. Like, it'd be like fucking, you know, you've got a dream, ain't you?
You know, that man, if you like, the thing, it's the stuff. We always have to. Like, I always think it's smart to think about when you do comedy or do a podcast or anything as well. You should think about it in the idea, if we do get big.
I live my entire life like that. Or it's not even if, when. That's how I live it. I'm like when.
I wouldn't do when. If still,
No,
because you can put the
fucking
most
when.
work in, but it's still an if.
Well,
But at the same time, I think our level of continuing do. If I continue doing the stuff I'm doing now and never fully make it, as much as I'm going to keep pushing to try and make it, I like the stuff I'm doing now.
I was going to
enjoy
say,
it.
what do your classes make it?
Well, you know, like be able to have be able to have like an actual just viable career doing comedy and podcasting.
And when would you class it as viable?
You know, like a set kind of.
How much money do you have to have in the bank to call it viable, or how much can you be earning from it? How big's your house gotta be?
Regular is the main thing you need.
How much? How big's your house?
What?
How big's your house going to be?
Well, okay, for example, if I can earn more than universal credit...
by fucking living in a shed, you could be like, that's enough.
Well, no, but...
I'm going to gig for free. I love
okay,
this
well,
life.
I can say it's
I've got an
definitely more
allotment.
than £350 or whatever universal credit is, because that's not enough to live on.
350 quid?
Something like that.
Bloody, you got to do well down here, man. You're giving me 200 odd quid or something, man.
Well, by the time it ends up with money in my pocket, I'm about 270, I think.
To be fair, I'm always paying back in advance.
Yeah, that's what exactly. Yeah.
Or council tax bills that they're taking out of it, or whatever.
As I'm saying, though, with like supported accommodation, you don't get council tax. And imagine with a van, you don't get council tax.
No, but fucking, they were still taking something out of my...
They'll take something. There's always something.
I think I do hopefully say I owe council tax, but I always say, look, that was at a period of time when I was not opening any bills and stuff like that. And then I'm like, look,
I've got loads of debt like that.
I'm homeless, man. If I can't afford a house, I cannot afford your bills, I'm afraid. What are you going to take? What are you going to take? It's a freedom for me, you know. I fucking love it. I'm like, look, you know what, you're going to lock me up? Cheers.
Doesn't need to be any of that, because I know now that I can have I know now that I'm just waiting to put like a debt relief order in, for example.
Yeah.
And it'll be all my debt wiped off. Paying £90, all your debt gone.
Yeah, but it's not God knows it, because you still got to pay like £90.
£90
a month? Or
no, one off £90.
My mate's just signed up for one. He's got to pay a monthly thing, like an IVA kind of thing or something like that.
Yeah, he's up for an IVA. Don't do an IVA.
Because I kept saying debt relief. I kept saying IVA.
Yeah, I used to work, you know.
Saying, no, it's not IVA. I think he was saying debt relief. He's done a debt relief order, but I'm sure he's got to pay more back than £90.
It depends on his situation. I used to work in like the debt and finance, so I did more of the debt part though. I did finance originally. I used to do like the collecting. You know, the person that if you paid for something and then 3 years later they then ring you to get the money. I'd be that person ringing the people that don't want to give you the money. I'd be the one then ringing to try and persuade you to pay the money.
I'd be 11.
It's a fun job to do.
Unfortunately, I've always lost my phone so fucking often. Like, you've never got a number for me, and then just letters turn up that don't get paid. And that's the way I see bills. Like, if I don't open them, I've not seen them.
Oh no, because the funniest thing is, I've always had debt to the point that I was working in these finance companies, ringing up other people, either trying to get them to pay their debt in one, or a lot of the other did like debt management and doing that kind of side. Either way, you're supposed to have a perfect I forgot it now, credit file.
Yeah, to work in them.
Yeah. My credit was always terrible. I owed money the whole time. What? I was there like giving people advice on how to deal with your debts and all that, in loads of debt at home.
Maybe our credit checks weren't fucking very good.
The only thing I learned from that place is, okay, you can get to this level of debt and then do this and you're good.
It's good to have debt, you know.
I don't think that's true.
It's better to owe money than be owed money.
I don't think that's true.
Definitely is, because who says you're going to get that fucking money? Because I've owed people money and not paid.
Okay, we put it like that, okay. Okay, I can't disagree with it, actually, in that case. You know, you're not completely wrong.
Yes.
No, yeah. I don't like that I agree with that, but I agree with that. Fucking true.
Bullshit. Makes me jump every time that screen goes out.
I don't know what, honestly, man, the thing is, like, I have had that in different plugs, in different things, in different ways, and wherever I put it, when that freezer does whatever it does, when it has like that little skip or what it does, and makes this noise, that always goes off. Whatever plug it's in.
But it isn't shutting down, is it? Is it not just like upload,
yeah, it's like
upload? Well, it's said audio render for ages, but I don't think that's what it's in.
I don't know, like, it could just be going off for a second and then coming back on.
It's a big ask from them.
I don't know what it is. I'm just happy it's that and not the computer, because it'd be a lot worse.
Unless it was EMF, which, you know what that is?
Yeah, electromagnetic.
Yeah, I mean, because the power surge for it would...
if it was EMF though, or anything like that, it would do that as well.
It probably would if it was power though, wouldn't it?
Huh?
If it was all on the same power line, so it would...
No, they've all got their own separate power lines. They're all plugged in separately.
Yeah, but...
This has got its own plug, that, and the computer.
Yeah, but they'll still be on the same circuit behind the wall.
Oh, yeah.
Be still on the same circuit. Same as that, we'll all be on the same circuit.
What the fuck? How does it? What is it then? That's what I'm saying.
Exactly, yeah. So it can't be the power, because that one would go as well.
Would it?
If it's all the same, it's all on the same circuit. And which way is it coming round? More likely, I'd say it would be that one that would go, because if this is plugged in over there,
yeah,
so it'd be closer to the socket, so the circuit would probably come that way, unless it was over there.
So this is me not understanding electric at all, so I just assumed that.
Well, do the bin drops, but I don't think it would affect it that much.
So, I don't know what the hell it is then. What is it?
If anything, it'd more likely be EMF.
Is that actually legitimately what?
A frequency thing, yeah, because you get a frequency interruption.
So just to clarify, I know EMF from ghost stuff. I know it's a thing anyway, but that's how I know it more or less.
You get it from electromagnetic frequency. It's generated at the end of the day, and it's a frequency. That's how phones works. And phone works. Radios used to work like that. Fucking Microwaves work like that.
Yeah, but why would that? I can't understand why that would do that and then affect the one like that. Always the one and never the other one.
Well, I'm saying that would be more likely than power, though.
Oh, okay. But that still doesn't make sense to you, though, does it?
No.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Your computer could just be shit.
Oh, it might be that. To be fair, this is refurbished.
Maybe. You've got a virus.
Oh, it's refurbished. It's done it since I put it on there, so that could definitely be that.
That's the thing with computers and stuff, isn't it? Fucking.
It's good to know. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. It could just be a bit of a fucked up thing.
No, that's going to sorry, I'm just fucking helping myself to this. But sorry.
No, go ahead, mate. What?
I'm not sure if anything over.
I'll be finishing soon because it's fucking late.
I'm ready when you are, pal.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
I'm going to say my arse is killing me.
See, how much worse would it have been if I had that fucking thing?
Well, probably quite a lot worse, but it's pretty bad anyway. But
here's the one downside. To be fair though, we've had a nice bit of fucking recording.
It's been a pleasure actually. I've enjoyed it. It's nice just to sit here and have a chat and think that someone that might hear it one day and fucking. I'm going to send me a poster for it and a little link. I'm going to put it on the thing.
You can have some of the flyers if you want. There's some there, but yeah, I'll tag you in the thing and stuff when I put it on. But that's one of the most beautiful things about podcasting. I mean, it's literally you feel like you're doing something productive.
How much tobacco have you got? Sorry.
You can use something to eat.
I've got like probably enough for one joint, and I'll definitely need another joint when I go.
Yeah, I've got enough. I've got a bit more than that. So. Yeah, that's one of the best things about podcasting, man. It's an excuse to have conversations with people.
Just, I wanted to pick your brains about it actually. So, what the ones that you've put? What's your process from taking it from this recording now to putting it onto YouTube? What?
Actually, I'll tell you that, but I'm going to end the recording first in that case. Then, do you want to give any plugs?
James Brogan, Instagram, check me out. Not all of me, just bits of it though. Don't check it all out.
Is it all on there?
Nothing's on there. I keep it fucking low, me, mate.
It's all on there.
My shit's on lockdown. You know, I'm sure you'll be seeing a lot more of me in 2023 and Hinken as well.
You won't.
You won't.
I'm going to go on stage with a mask on purposely so they won't see more of me.
Feel your presence though, definitely.
I'll feel my presence.
You'll know it's you fucking goat, innit? Yeah.
I'll have a stink bomb.
What, sorry?
I'll have a stink bomb.
A stink bomb?
Yeah. They'll know it's me, they'll feel the presence. The presence will be the stink bomb.
Fair dues, man. What would it smell like? What's your fragrance?
The smell of sex.
Good one.
Because that's what I am.
What, like
That's what seeing me live is. It's sex.
It is as well. I vouch for that, you know. I do vouch for that. I've witnessed it. I've been there. I came.
Yeah. You can't all come, and if you do, bring your own buckets.
You'll need them.
The KD Comedy Inc., the stuff that you're already watching this, and everyone's not watching. It's 4 hours. I don't know why we're pretending to do plugs at the end of it. What am I on about?
I've been plugging all the way through me. I've got a contract with Warrior, Pringles.
Oh, in Berghouse.
Yeah, I've got a big contract with Berghouse, so